Oh, you know what I love?
Sports.
Love sports.
Sports. When
It comes to Texas A&M.
Where are you getting this information?
Let me tell you.
Welcome to TexAgs.
It's here. It's time. There's always a buzz in the air when you hit this moment.
He is a guy that has gotten better and better and better. He's just got that dog in him.
We will develop men. We will graduate players, and we will win championships on the field.
I think of him as this hawk. Before long, he's going to be swooping in on those quarterbacks.
Coach Elko's my guy, right? Like, I love him. I love Michael Early. Like, I think Bucky's going to be incredible.
It's football, man. And that's what Warriors do. They don't want to sit out.
And this is a real program. It's not fake. This is a real place. And if you want to be really good at football, this is a really good place to be.
You know, if I'm betting on anybody, it's the Aggies.
I'm not playing in the game, you're not playing in the game, but I got this game day focus, OB. I just want to slap everybody today that wears orange. Not in a physical sense, in a football sense.
In a football sense, yeah.
That's what I want.
Yeah, the best case scenario would be that A&M takes control early and puts the game away early. I was talking to a guy on the radio over there who thought that A&M was going to win by a wide margin. I hope he's right. I've just seen too many rivalry games to take that for granted. Now, I remember my first Texas game, A&M game. It was a really close game, and then Leland McElroy at 93 had a long kickoff return and put it away. But then the next year, over in Austin, A&M just dominated.
Yeah.
And so hopefully that'll be the case. But I will say this. I expect the Aggies to score 30 points plus. I mean, Georgia did.
Yeah.
And I think A&M has a much better offense than Georgia. Vanderbilt did. I think A&M has a better
offense than them, too.
Mississippi State did.
Yeah.
So I think the key tonight,
don't let them run,
is defense.
Yeah. I was speaking to my brother-in-law last night who went to Texas, and he's one of the cool ones, like one of the ones that, like...
They don't exist.
He's actually all right. My wife is a Texas person that's like that. But he was like...
It's okay for the women.
He told me...
It's a good girls' school.
Yeah. He told me, he's like, you know what really impressed me about A&M was how much better athletes you guys had than LSU, how much faster you were than LSU, how much more dominant physically you were than LSU. Texas isn't LSU, but I hope we see that exact same thing on Saturday. Or today, Friday.
Today.
Yeah, Black Friday.
Tonight.
America.
I could see that Texas and LSU are probably very similar if LSU's playing. You know, they both came in with quarterbacks that were so hyped up. They both had
new offensive lines.
Yeah, new offensive lines, replacing great ones. Defensive issues. Now, Texas' defense has looked really good most of the year.
Most of the year, yeah.
But in the last four games, in each of the last four games, they've given up over 30 points.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out the why behind that.
Well,
not that I watched them enough, but to me by this point, you are who you are.
Yeah, I'll say this. I don't mean to disparage Texas, but with the exception of Ohio State, with their quarterback was playing his first game and all that, they had some key drop passes. Who's the good, and I mean good, not just okay, the good offensive team that Texas has faced beyond the last four games? Because they played San Jose State.
Not good.
UTEP.
Not good.
Sam Houston.
Not good.
Florida.
Florida, not good.
And Florida had 29, by the way. Oklahoma.
On that particular day, they were horrific.
No day.
Yeah, well,
they're not a good. They're a good defensive team. Kentucky,
not good offensively.
And then the next four are Mississippi State. They gave up 38. Vanderbilt 31. Georgia 35, and Arkansas 37. Now let's be fair about this too. A lot of Vanderbilt's 31 came late when the game was really decided. So we're going to tell the whole truth,
sure,
and nothing but the truth. But so help us God.
But if we're going to give Georgia the credit for the fourth quarter, I'm going to give Vandy the credit for the fourth quarter.
Well, the difference is Georgia
was dominating all game long.
Right, they were not behind, and Texas might have been playing back a little bit. But because that's kind of like when you. But I'll say this: if you're a Texas guy, say, well, yeah, but Vanderbilt got a lot of those points late when we were playing back. And besides, you guys barely beat Arkansas. I'm going, whoa. If we're going to play that game, let's remember that Arkansas pulled within 3 with 10 seconds to go.
Right.
So, and I think they beat Arkansas 52-37, scored a late touchdown. But I also think that if
Taylor
Green had played that whole second half, you could probably Texas still wins, but you probably add another touchdown or two.
Yeah, and I don't necessarily have to copy and paste matchups because we can play the Florida game too, right? But we went to Florida. So did A&M last year, by the way, and won. So and it was Marcel's first road start, right? So there's a lot of
first road start. Yeah.
So bottom line to me is first start too, right? Yeah, first start. Bottom line is to me,
I guess so.
This team. Look, if I put my optimistic Aggie goggles on, right? Because there's two.
I was going to say they don't exist.
Sometimes I'm optimistic.
I know.
Remember the South Carolina game. I don't know if optimistic's the right word, but not pessimistic.
You were hopeful.
Hopeful. There you go. That's the right word. The team that I've seen this year play, and I've seen significantly more snaps of A&M than Texas, so I'm no expert on Texas. Right. I've seen enough to kind of get a vibe from. What I've seen from an optimistic Aggie point of view is we are significantly better pretty much everywhere.
Okay.
Not everywhere, but most. I think we have better wide receivers.
I think if you want to,
I think we do.
Yeah, I do. Okay. But they have good receivers.
They do, no doubt they do. No doubt they do. We have, I think, a better offensive line.
Yes.
Okay.
Not even. I think A&M has more explosive receivers.
Okay.
Even though Texas does have the ability, but A&M does it more frequently.
And by the way, just because I think one is better is not a knock either, right?
No.
I think we have the better quarterback.
I think so.
Okay. Does Arch have a lot more upside? I don't know. I think he's very good. He's been very good the second half of the season. But I think there's a reason Marcel is a Heisman contender right now.
I'm going to interrupt you just for a second because you brought that up. So the guy that I was on his radio show, and it's a real popular guy over there. I'm not going to mention it, but real popular. And he asked me, he said, do you think that next year Marcel Reed and Arch Manning can both be Heisman candidates? I said, well, yeah, but I think Marcel is right now. He said, well, you think he's going to New York? And he was incredulous. And I said, I think he should be the favorite. And I know and I said, and that's not just me. And I've mentioned how Josh Pate and some others.
Yep.
I think over there, they don't think he's good.
That's fine.
Yeah, I hope so.
I mean, just prove it tonight, and then they'll know.
Yeah.
Yep. But where was I? I think we have the better quarterback. Okay. I think we the better pass rusher. I think a Wash or Cassius. Like I could go either way. I mean, Dylan's a beast.
When one guy, I'm going to call that a wash because when only one sack separates them.
Yeah, and he's excellent. He is. I mean, he's going to be a top 10 pick probably, right? Is that what they're saying? Yeah. So he's excellent.
Both could be.
Okay. Linebackers. Anthony Hill, if he plays, is probably the best linebacker on the field.
Mm-hmm, probably so.
I like our unit. I don't know enough about their unit, but I like Torian. I know Scooby's. They say Scooby was out, right?
I think
so Scooby's out.
Is he out now?
Yeah, he's out. Okay. Le'Veon's out. Scooby's out. Bryce Anderson, as we know, out. There's one more, right? So, but regardless, call linebacker edge Texas.
Okay. And just to show that we're objective.
I'm trying to be.
Rashad Johnson Jr.
Okay. Yeah. And then you got, you and I looked at each other like,
I got to admit that right off the top of my head, I don't know Rashad.
It's all right.
What position does he play? I'm sorry.
Hold on.
He's a safety.
He's a safety.
I'm sorry that I said that, but I have to admit that right off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you what position he played.
And secondary.
He goes by Tom Tom, by the way. That might be
if
why
you said Tom, I knew that.
Yeah, Tom we know. Tom.
Thank you, Nick. Yeah, I know Tom.
And secondary, I don't know enough about their secondary. I really don't.
They got the guy Muhammad.
Mm-hmm.
He's really good. And then they have the guy that was he All-American? The kid from Westlake. Why am I
Taft?
Taft.
Michael
Taft. Yeah.
Who's struggled the last few games?
Well, he's been hurt.
He was out a little bit too, right?
Hurt. But beyond those two, I think they're very, very gettable. And and I expect A&M to have some success on them. I would give A&M the edge in the secondary.
Better defense? I think it's a TBD. I know that's weird at the 12th game of the season to say that, but I think tonight could be the separate, because statistically there are certain areas that Texas is significantly better. Stopping the run, right? Aren't they significantly better stopping the run?
Probably. But once again, play A&M schedule, play Notre Dame, for instance, right? Missouri. Missouri has a good offense, good running game. If A&M plays Kentucky, they did play Florida, and I think they did really well against Florida.
They did.
And you know what? Run defense, I'm going to give it a push.
Okay. I think the problem with A&M's run defense is
the big play.
2 or 3 big plays a game, right? And I was talking to some buddies. I think I talked to Raheel about this on No Layups too. That like look for Wisner to have a 30-yard run at some point in the first quarter, because that's just how the story goes typically. Like so, and from that point, what adjustments does Elko and Jay Bateman and the defense make? So to me, that is something that if you limit Texas, who's not been able to run the ball effectively this year, and you make them one-dimensional, I think A&M wins going away. If you allow for Wisner to get a bunch of big runs, then I think it could be a rough night.
Yeah, I think so too. But so don't allow it. Okay, Sam Houston's 108th in the nation in run defense. To be fair, Auburn's 106th. I'm sorry, I should have had this prepared. I didn't know we were going to go there. UTEP's 96.
You're talking about rushing offense?
Rushing offense, because we're talking about how good. Florida's 91st. Missouri, well, that's surprising. Missouri's 87. I thought they're better than that in rushing offense. That can't be right.
That can't. Are you looking at 25?
Oh, dumbass. I'm looking at passing offense.
All right, there's a new rule on TexAgs. No looking up stats.
I'm looking at passing. Hey,
my sister-in-law Tiffany was listening.
When you get time, look at Texas's opponents where they are on rushed offense.
Moving forward, only the social center people who know how to read can do stats.
So the difference between
because Billy and I did this. Billy and I do this all the time. And my sister-in-law Tiffany was listening the other day. She's like, "You guys had me rolling because every stat you were finding the wrong one." And so we don't look up stats on TexAgs. We are the stats.
San Jose State's 112th, by the way.
Are you sure you're on 25?
Yeah, but there's and UTEP's 106. This is rushing. Okay. But there are some from that A&M played that's even worse than that. So we're going to be fair. You know, Sam Houston, 101.
But what is Missouri?
Number 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they ran all over us.
Oklahoma's 90. They did not.
On 3 plays.
On 3 plays.
But they rushed for over 200 yards.
Yes.
So that's running over us.
They sure did.
I think they had 202, 207. Okay. So, yeah. And so did Arkansas.
They did. And Arkansas ran for 188 on Texas.
Yeah.
Arkansas ran for 268.
They're 20th in the country in rushing offense.
Arkansas
is.
Yeah.
So anyway, my point is,
what is Robert Henry Jr. from UTSA? Greatest back I've ever seen play. Bo Jackson of college football.
They are 49th in the country in rushing offense.
Yeah, my point is that A&M has probably played overall better run defenses. Look at Notre Dame. I mean, better run offenses. Look at Notre Dame than Texas has. So,
all right.
So I'm giving it a push.
We're going kind of long on this segment.
Sorry.
But it's okay. I had this question. If the Aggies play their game, ... what happens?
Oh, they win probably by 10 to 14. If they, but here's my question. Does the Aggies playing their game also mean that there's going to be at least one quarter where they're going to be turning the ball over or getting tons of penalties or missing field goals that allows their opponents to stay in the game? LSU.
Burnt Branch Creek Bees says, seeing full-blown BAS this morning. I'm not on this show. Maybe he's talking about online. I'm not seeing it.
No, I haven't.
I'm just trying to look at things being completely objective. I think A&M, if they play to their ability, win by 10 to 14. But it is a rivalry game. You take nothing for granted. Like, I guarantee you the last time, I was asked this, I think the last time I covered a game over in Austin, I think it was A&M in 2006.
Mm-hmm.
And, Texas was ranked in the top 10. Although if they win that game, they're the Big 12 champs, or they're going to the Big 12, whatever, going to the Big 12 championship game. And they're moving the ball in the first series. You get down inside the 20, it's 4th and 1. Mark Dodge stops Henry something.
Oh, I remember that, yeah.
For no gain. And the game changes right there. Eventually, we know Goodson goes crazy for about 60 yards. Stephen McGee runs it in. The Aggies win. You just don't take anything for granted in a rivalry game.
No, you don't. Let's do 3 things we want to see, OB, shall we?
Yeah.
We are running our mouths with 3 things we want to see, brought to you by the Brazzers Running Company and their partner company, maceandhay.com. Mike's daughters, Haley and Macy, are Aggie grads, and Mike Nugent, are the 2 Aggie sisters, natives to College Station, 4th generation, and they wanted to rep the Aggie spirit in a sweet, stylish, comfortable way while studying, sleeping, and cheering. So they made pajamas. Their pajamas feature original artwork inspired by A&M traditions, giving them the classic Aggie spirit of feminine timeline twist. Black Friday special today. Every purchase includes a free 10-count Gig'em stationery set. All right, OB. 3 things.
Marcel Reed playing like he did in the second half against South Carolina. I want to see that
I like
guy.
that guy. I like a lot.
I want to see the A&M defense make Texas very one-dimensional by taking away the run. And then I want to see that pass rush get all over the quarterback against that offensive line the same way they did against LSU and Nussmeier.
Yeah, 100% agree. Number 1, no turnovers.
Okay.
All right, and this is no particular order, just my number 1 right now. No turnovers, please. All right, no bad, almost interceptions. How about just clean, real clean football?
Like Marcel in the second half.
Second half, correct. Yes, I just phrase it differently. There's not that many different things we can say. Our athlete versus theirs to be a replica of what we talked about early versus LSU. Okay, that's what I want to see. And I think Texas has got more athletes than LSU does this year, I think. And then I want a defensive line that overwhelms their offensive line.
Absolutely. Dominate the line of scrimmage. On both lines ways. Dominate the line of scrimmage.
This is TexAgs Live. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. We are in the Rollo Insurance Studio. This is the Go Hour, presented by the Warehouse at CC Creations. And I hope everybody's enjoying their Black Friday, and a special hello to you Texas fans watching us. Thank you so much for helping the algorithm and our NIL. He's Olin. I am David. Typically, we're hanging out at the
Holistic Planning Cool Zone. We still are, because the Cool Zone travels the way A&M travels today.
And we'll be traveling to Austin here shortly after this show. Let's open up the phone lines, too. You want to talk to us about your thoughts about today? We'll take those calls, baby. Not 713. I was about to give them the 1560 number.
979?
That was 20 years ago that I worked there.
979?
Yeah.
693?
Yeah.
1150.
That's the Buppy's Catering and
Bartending
Hotline. We go around the room, left to right. We say hi to the humans. Behind the glass is our dear friend, Nick Savage.
Howdy, good morning, y'all.
How are you, sir?
I'm good. David, before we talk football, I want to know, before you started here, is Black Friday your favorite, I wouldn't call it a holiday, but your favorite day? Because to me, it just seems like an excuse for you to go get into fights and stuff, and that just seems right up your alley, you know what I mean?
I don't know if you've noticed this about me, Nick, but I've turned to a new leaf. I don't fight people anymore. I am acting...
Not over flat screen TVs.
Or any less.
Oh, this is true. Here's the fact. I've learned about myself. You know, as you get closer to 50, you really know who you are.
Yeah.
And I've learned there's no reason to go to Twitter to see mean people talking about your team. It has no effect on my day. It has no effect on what happens on the football field. So all these Texas fans in my mentions, all these like mean people, I don't have to engage or watch. I just stay happy with my family, watch Aggie football, and hope we win. So there's no reason to fight.
Yeah. I blocked them. And some of them like to be, I
got all the block Buchanan.
I blocked you because I blocked the a-holes. And therefore, you consider yourself that if I've blocked you.
Yeah, I don't like to give them the satisfaction. I like to see them coming.
I don't mind giving them the satisfaction. I really
You're like Mick Jagger.
No, because I can get some satisfaction. By the way, Mick Jagger's the coolest rock and roller ever.
Who was on the show the other day? Oh, Jordan Pugh. Completely disagrees with you.
Jordan Pugh didn't even know he was in the Rolling Stones.
Jordan Pugh is wrong. Yeah, he's just not educated on the subject.
Because he knows the answer. We go now to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center, Reese Nygren. Hello, Reese. Why am I talking like a weird, 1950s announcer, man?
I don't know. Good morning. How are y'all?
Good morning. How are you?
How was y'all's Thanksgiving?
It's all right.
Expensive.
So we have some early morning coaching news from Pete Thamel. Oregon State has hired their head coach. They've agreed to a 5-year deal to make Alabama co-offensive coordinator Jamarcus Shepard the school's next head coach. He's Alabama's assistant head coach as well as their wide receivers coach. So the question is he the only Alabama coach leaving for another job?
My question is, has Oregon State paid attention to the Alabama offense this year?
No, he's probably not the only one.
And then some SEC coaching news. Vanderbilt and Coach Clark Lee have agreed to a new 6-year deal to stay with the Commodores, which includes a significant salary increase. The deal includes numerous assets for the program to continue Vanderbilt football's upward trend.
Here's the deal. Whoever doesn't get Lane, right? Either LSU, Florida, or Ole Miss, right? There's a lot less candidates right now. But just because you sign an extension does not mean you have to stay.
No, unless there's some kind of ridiculous buyout built into it.
Sure, but has Clark Lee signed it or agreed?
Well, that's his alma mater.
Yeah, he
so
probably
he's
would.
probably.
What about Drink? Has he signed or agreed?
I think he signed to one yesterday maybe.
We were talking earlier. Said I could see this happening. That if Alabama loses to Auburn, with just the reaction with first losing to Auburn and then back-to-back out of the playoff, I could see the heat and the pressure and just the vitriol on toward DeBoer so bad. They says, "Yeah, I will take the Penn State job." And then Lane Kiffin, who had just accepted in principle the LSU job, goes, "Wait a minute, I think I'm going to go to Alabama instead." Which I do not want that to happen because my son is already out on the ledge. I don't want him to jump. But it would be hilarious.
Do you think he's going to win a national championship wherever he goes next?
Lane?
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, he's a good coach.
He's a good coach.
I don't know. I don't necessarily think so. He's a very good coach that sometimes makes some really bad decisions that cause him to lose games. Like when they lost to Kentucky last year.
Right. Hey, shall we discuss barbecue activities?
We should.
So technically, if we weren't leaving early, we would probably stop on our way to Austin at a place, but not a lot of other people can go because that's probably the commute at 1775.
1775.
Why wouldn't you do it?
What could be better than starting your day with the tremendous barbecue of 1775 and ending your day with that tremendous victory over the Longhorns? You could start with, you should
start with a win.
You can start with consuming dead beef or, dead cattle and end it by killing cattle.
Like doing, it's the circle of life.
It's cattle side.
Yeah. And by the way, everything tastes good at 1775.
Everything tastes good at 1775, and it tastes even better. Those
succulent?
Because I don't know about the succulent brisket, and that sausage and the pork. And I know you've had to take some home because the portions are so big.
They're very big.
And eat it later as leftovers. How much even better will those leftovers taste after you've tasted victory in Austin?
Size matters at 1775.
Taste and victory twice in one day at 1775
and at DKR
Memorial Stadium.
979-492-6241. Check out the website, 1775txbbq.com.
It's good, like Marcel Reed.
Hey everyone, it's David and Olin from the Holistic Planning
Cool Zone.
I like when we have the chairs here because I don't feel like I have to do this when we're talking about holistic planning. But they want you to know, TexAgs subscribers, they take care of the TexAgs subscribers.
Oh, absolutely. Take care of everybody.
They want to know that anybody who signs up by November 27, 2025 will receive this awesome offer. If the Aggies beat the Longhorns or win in Austin on November 28, 2025, clients will pay no management fees to Holistic Planning for the entire 2026 calendar year.
That's free.
It's free $99. Actually, just free.
All you got to do is beat Texas. Well, it's not if they beat Texas, it's when they beat Texas.
When. And when you go to holisticplanning.com, you're going to love holistic planning. So it is holisticplanning.com. Check out the website and take advantage of this awesome offer.
Look at this. Hey, we're back. I'm having a conversation. I don't know if that's when I start. So we're having a discussion during the break, and OB's doing some research. Like I see a lot of people throwing, yeah, well, Texas, little brother, our record against you is, yada, yada. Yeah, that's true. You know what? If you look at the all-time history that none of you were a part of, then you're exactly right. The way I like to do it is in my lifetime, what is it like? Like, what's the difference, right?
Yeah.
And when I say lifetime, my lifetime of viewing Aggie sports.
Yeah.
So I started watching Aggie football when my cousin George came to A&M in the mid-'80s. Okay? That's when I started watching. My earliest memories are Kevin Murray, and then also the Tim Brown towel fiasco in the 1988, I think it was 88, Cotton Bowl, where A&M destroyed Notre Dame. Those are like my first kind of like foray into Aggie football, when I became, I think, a future Aggie. That's kind of my time. And so like when people say, yeah, we own you. Yeah, okay. Well, I think Texas does have an advantage since I've been watching Aggie football.
Yeah.
Which is what, 14 to 13?
Yeah, 14 to 13 since 85.
Okay. And I believe, so that means last year we were tied entering this during my lifetime.
Yeah.
And in where my Aggie years were formulated for me, A&M dominated Texas. I know what happened in the 90s. You know, midway through, the Ricky Williams / Mac Brown era happened, and it went in a different direction. And also, I know A&M made a lot of mistakes themselves, right? But that's how I do it. And right now, Texas, you got a game or two edge on me in my lifetime. But if A&M wins the next 3, are people who were born in 2000 going to go back to 1970 or whatever? Like, is that how it works? Like, you're allowed to claim, look, you can be proud of, I claim Real Madrid trophies from before I started watching them. But the reality is, to me, they've won 5 Champions Leagues, not that our audience cares, since I've been watching them. Thank you. Oh, Nick just said everybody cares.
So you're like Auburn claiming national. They'd be like Auburn claiming national.
What
titles.
I'm saying is, my team, since I've been watching them, has 5.
Okay.
I don't really yes, I am proud of the 13 that Madrid has had, but I'm not a part of that.
Yeah.
I can't I can boast that that's my club.
Yeah.
And for A&M, I look at it the same way. Like when I started watching, that's it. And by the way, I don't play for them, so I didn't win anything. Right? What I do win is school pride. And it matters that much to all of us. So in my lifetime, Obi's doing a science project.
He is.
In my lifetime, it's Texas with a slight lead that I've been watching. Because I think if you go back, you told me that 84 was tied or something.
Yeah.
I don't think I was watching in 84.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I mean, I would have been 8 years old, so it's very possible, but I don't remember that. Obi, you did some numbers
I'm
yourself.
just saying this, why I say the run defenses on both teams are push, right?
Okay,
Even though statistically, Texas may be better. A&M has faced 5 opponents that are ranked among the nation's top 50 in rushing offense. That would be number 9, Missouri, number 19, Notre Dame, number 20, Arkansas, number 43, Auburn, and number 49, UTSA. Texas has faced 2 that are in the top 30. That would be number 20, Arkansas, number 20, I'm in the top 50, number 28, Georgia. But on the other end, A&M has faced, and I'm going to put Samford in this, 4 teams, Samford doesn't count because they're FCS, but 4 teams that are like in the bottom 99 or worse.
Right.
And I say 99 because Texas has faced 5 at 99 or worse. Oklahoma being number 99, Florida 105. They both played Florida. Sam Houston 103, UTEP 106, and San Jose State 112. So my point is, I think A&M has been challenged more by better run defenses, and therefore that's why I say I can tell you that Texas has a better run defense.
Yep. By the way, well played, OB. I knew you were going to wear that. That's why I didn't wear it, but I really like that top.
I do. You know, this is a winning top. I've worn this combination of this. What would you call this? Quarter zip.
Quarter zip. That's what I would call it.
Quarter zip shirt from Duck Camp, and these black pants that you can't see.
Kind of reminds me of Jerry Glanville when he was with the Oilers. He'd always wear black. But what I'm saying, he had this look, and like that's your game day look.
Well, they keep winning.
Yeah, it's your game day fit.
And the one time I didn't wear this, even though they obviously won, was the South Carolina game.
Huh? Is that right?
Because I said, well, it's too hot to wear this. So I'm gonna, all the positive mojo we can get. Besides this, you know how Aggies are.
Superstitious.
Well, they expect, if you do something to win, they expect you to keep doing it. So if someone saw me and said, "Hey, didn't you say?"
Yeah.
What are you doing? You're messing up the what would you be messing up? The mojo.
The mojo. Yeah. If that was the color of the team we were going to face, would you still wear it?
If they'd won all these games, I would.
Yeah, you would. By the way, it's Duck Camp. Check it out. Built for the outdoors, designed for everything else. 25% off when you use the code TexAgs25 at checkout and TexAgs. It is Duck Camp. Everyone, David Nuño here for Allen Honda. Had a great conversation with them earlier today. John Allen's the owner. He's been here forever. And also their GM, Rusty Skinner, great guy. Wonderful conversation. They're super local. They're a family-owned dealership, not some massive auto group. And they treat their customers like family because they basically are family. They're Aggie alums. They love Aggie sports, and they've been serving the Brazos Valley with integrity, with passion, and commitment to excellence for over 50 years, which is very rare, by the way, for the independents because people trust them. And that's why they've been doing it for such a long time. Whether you're looking to buy, lease, or service your vehicle, you can count on them for transparent, no pressure experience that puts your needs first. And I can attest to it. Had a great conversation about my own situation with them. Their knowledgeable sales team will help you find the perfect Honda to fit your lifestyle, from fuel-efficient sedans to versatile SUVs. Leasing options are flexible and affordable, making it easy to drive the latest models with confidence. And when it comes to service, their certified technicians only use genuine Honda parts to keep your vehicle running at its best, whether it's routine maintenance for major repairs or whatever it may be. And we know that trust isn't given, it is earned, and that's why generations of local drivers right here in the Brazos Valley and Bryan College Station keep coming back to Allen Honda. As part of the community with Aggie spirit in their hearts, they are here to make everyone's visit wonderful. So visit their showroom or their service lane and find friendly, efficient, and memorable situations when you go to Allen Honda. Come see why so many College Station and Bryan drivers choose Allen Honda for their automotive needs, and remember, gig 'em. And we are back here on the Go Hour, presented by The Warehouse at CC Creations on TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Typically hanging out at the Holistic Planning Cool Zone, but we're, OB's leaving here pretty soon. But we got a caller, my friend.
Okay.
Let's see. Where is my numbers? Or Bo is on line one. He wants to talk a little bit about the pass rush in this game. Bo, thanks for calling the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. Welcome to TexAgs.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for taking my call. My key to the game this week is A&M's pass rush against Arch Manning. I know Arch put up a lot of numbers against Arkansas, but he made a lot of mistakes whenever on those 3rd and long situations that Elko's been so good. So that's my key to the game this week. Thanks and Gig'em.
Thank you, Gig'em. Bo, appreciate that.
That's one of the big keys, no doubt.
Yeah, I don't know how to prioritize them. I think, obviously, getting to Arch on 3rd down is going to be very, very important. And there's a part of me that's fearful is not the right word, and I hope people don't hear it that way. But do not let Texas have that game for the first time this season where they run well. It's not a fear. It's just what I know. Don't run well. You haven't run well all year. We're not going to be the first. That is my desire. How about that? One of my desires.
Yeah, make them one-dimensional, and then that helps your pass rush.
Absolutely.
Yeah. One of the reasons why A&M, and Mike Elko has said this, so this isn't like, I'm no great savant here. One of the reasons A&M is so good on 3rd down is because they're so good on 1st and 2nd down that your offense frequently is in a 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7 kind of situation. And therefore, your chances obviously go up. Your chance of conversion go up the fewer yards you need. And so A&M's won on 1st and 2nd down, and that's one of the big reasons they were so good on 3rd down and able to come on strong with the pass rush.
By the way, our TexAgs dollar subscription for the month ends tonight. So you want to get a 1-month membership for $1. You got until the end of tonight to do that. It'll go for $1 for a week afterwards. But this is a whole month if you do it today.
So if you get a day, you get the Texas game.
Yeah.
The SEC championship
game.
Signing day. And
playoffs.
The playoffs.
Playoffs. Let's go to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center, shall we? And let's play the Prize Picks Pick 6 game. And by the way, if you go to prizepicks.com/TexAgs, use the code TexAgs.
I don't even know the games we're picking.
Did I not send it to you guys a few days ago?
You're about to find out.
If you did,
I think I did.
Let's go.
Fairly sure. But
it doesn't look like I know anyway.
Have you listened to the Final Countdown at all?
No.
Okay.
Not this one.
Not that. Well, we haven't played it this week. But Billy's big fear is you to catch him.
Oh,
I think he's 3 games back of Billy, maybe 4.
Yeah, I don't have the standings right in front of me.
But I think you're catching him.
Oh, okay.
At one point, Billy was in 2nd place, but Jamie Morrison, he'll be here on the show. Jamie McCoy has been dominating.
I'm sure Jamie Morrison would dominate me this year.
Yeah, well, All right, let's go.
Picking games.
All right, the first game up is the Egg Bowl. Number 7 Ole Miss Rebels, during their head coaching drama, go to Starkville to face the Mississippi State Bulldogs at Davis Wade Stadium at 11 a.m. today. So right after we wrap up, the Rebels are 6.5-point favorites.
All. Man, if it's 7.5, I might take.
I'm taking Mississippi State.
You know what? Since you told me, I bet. What I want to do is I want to take whatever Liucci's not taking.
I don't remember what he did. We could go because we recorded the Final Countdown, so because we have to leave.
Yeah, right.
I don't remember what he picked, so I can't. I'm not going to do that to him.
What do you think?
I'm taking Mississippi State.
What do you think?
What would Liucci take?
Billy picked.
You can't. That's cheating.
Why is it cheating? I'm not.
I don't know, Nick. Is it cheating?
He always knows what I picked.
He's not paying attention.
We have conflicting. Richard says yes, Kay says no.
But I do think Billy does ask sometimes, or the group asks, what did Olin pick? In fact, I think
that is true.
That is true.
So
he picked Ole Miss to cover.
Okay, so give me Mississippi State.
So you may lose by 30, but
hey, it's my only chance then. Since he is that concerned about me catching him, I can't catch him if we're picking the same game.
Sure, but I'm going to be the one that catches the strays, not you. All right, that's fine.
All right, the next game up is the game, the
David
number
Nuño
1 and reigning.
with the fishes.
The number 1 Ohio State Buckeyes face the number 15 Michigan Wolverines at the Big House at 11 a.m. on Saturday. Ohio State looking for their first win versus Michigan since 2019. Buckeyes 9.5-point favorites.
I'm taking Michigan to cover, Ohio State to win.
What Luch take?
I don't have Billy's pick in front of me for this one.
Okay, then I'll take Ohio State.
The third game is the LSU Tigers heading to Memorial Stadium in Norman to face the number 8 Oklahoma Sooners at 2:30 on Saturday. The Sooners are 10.5-point favorites.
Yeah, I'll take Oklahoma. It looks to me like LSU quit.
Yeah. Yeah, give me Oklahoma.
All right. Clark Lee just signed his extension, and the number 14 Vanderbilt Commodores heading to Rocky Top to face the number 19 Tennessee Volunteers at Neyland Stadium, 2:30 on Saturday. Vols 2.5-point favorites.
I think I'm taking Tennessee.
I'll take Vandy in the points.
Oh, really? I'm going to take Tennessee.
Tennessee's defense is horrendous.
Yeah.
What I worry about is just how jacked up Tennessee's going to be. Remember, before the season, Diego Pavia said, we own Tennessee and all this. Yeah. But that defense is heinous.
That's a good point. I still think I'm going to take Tennessee.
I'm going to take Vandy.
Billy took Vandy in the points.
Damn, I'm taking Tennessee. Can I take it back?
Yeah, you can take it back.
Can I take it back?
Yeah, we haven't gone to the next game.
All right, I'll take Tennessee.
How do you know the answers?
I have the Pick 6 document.
Okay.
So I'm not going to take Vandy now.
All right.
Let's go Rocky Top. Woo! Rocky Top.
Careful with your glasses.
The next game up is the Iron Bowl. The number 10 Alabama Crimson Tide look to keep their playoff and SEC championship game hopes alive as they head to Jordan-Hare Stadium to face the Auburn Tigers at 6:30 on Saturday. The Tide 6.5-point favorites.
What Luch take?
Alabama.
Auburn.
God, I feel like I'm going to get destroyed this week. I think I'm taking Auburn too. I think Alabama wins, but Auburn covers.
All right, and then the last game is the biggest game, the Lone Star Showdown. The number 16 Texas Longhorns play host to the number 3 Texas A&M Aggies for the first time since 2010 at DKR tonight at 6:30. The Ags are 2.5-point favorites.
What Luch take?
A&M, yeah.
Well, Luch, I'm with you on that one, dude. So I'm 3 down. I know I've taken 3. Am I 3 behind Lucci? I know I've taken 3 different than him, but I'm definitely taking the Aggies.
Yeah, I'm taking the Aggies.
ESPN's taking Texas,
of course. CNN. I'm taking
with their foolish projection index.
Yeah,
I know I upset somebody in the back on that one, but I know I made Nick laugh. I'm going to take the Aggies, and I think the Aggies are going to be up by 7 in the fourth quarter and kick a field goal, make it 10.
All right.
I think the biggest shock in there is the kicking the field goal.
You are only 3 games behind Billy.
So I have 3 different. So I either catch Billy or I assume my usual spot in the cellar.
That's all 6 games.
Thank you very much. How about Rollo Insurance? Check out the website, rolloinsurance.com/TexAgs, or call them up, 888-44-ROLLO. They have 60 offices in the great state of Texas, but their headquarters is right here in College Station. And if you are a family-owned agency and you're listening to TexAgs, they want you to know that Rollo Insurance is doing amazing work helping small agencies during this slow-motion corporate takeover of the insurance industry. Tech markets, education, and succession planning are big challenges. But if you go to rolloinsurance.com/TexAgs, you can listen to Keith and Jackson talk about it right here in this studio. It is Rollo Insurance. Aggies are doing all kinds of work to help out other Aggies, and they're doing it. They're leading the way at Rollo Insurance. rolloinsurance.com/TexAgs, 888-44-ROLLO. Hey friends, David Nuño here for Prize Picks. They're back on TexAgs, prizepicks.com/TexAgs. Use the code TexAgs to get $50 once you play in $5 lineups. And Prize Picks is the best place to win cash while watching sports. Football season's here, basketball coming up, baseball, you name it. You go to prizepicks.com/TexAgs and start having some fun watching sports, making some money on there. And you can play Prize Picks in over 40 states, including California and Texas. Remember, they'll give you $50 in lineups once you play $5 lineups on Prize Picks. And they have the new thing. It's called It's Good to Be Right campaign, and they're kicking off the upcoming NFL season with their bold new campaign, It's Good to Be Right. The seasonal long push celebrates the thrills of getting it right, from the perfect prediction to winning your Prize Picks lineups. Prize Picks is good to be right. We are back here on TexAgs Live. We are still presented by David Gardner's Jewelers in the Rollo Insurance Studio and the Go Hour presented by The Warehouse at CC Creations. OB,
Yeah.
It is time to bank on it, presented by Vera Bank. What are you banking on, sir?
I'm banking on that Texas A&M passing game to accumulate or count for at least 3 passing touchdowns. Of course, it's redundant. 3 touchdowns at least from the passing game.
Okay.
I'm banking on that. I'm banking on, I don't think they're going to get 7 sacks like they did against LSU, but I think they can get there 4 times.
4, so you can bank it on 4 sacks.
Maybe harass him a few other times, but get the old arch 4 times, so they'll have fallen arches.
I'm going to bank on Marcel with 300-plus passing yards, 3 touchdowns.
Okay.
And Reuben Owens with 100 yards on the ground. That's what I'm banking on.
All right.
Am I being too aggified?
No, I think it could happen. We've seen it happen before.
Yeah. Look, this team has been so good in fourth quarters. And if you go back to the Missouri game, I think they didn't run the ball well for about 2.5 quarters. And then they did.
Yeah.
And when they did, it just was the snowball effect, right? So, and I think A&M actually ended up rushing for more yards than Missouri in that game. Do you have those numbers in front of you?
I have them right here.
I'm allowed to let
A&M
you look it up.
against Missouri. A&M rushed for 243. Missouri rushed for 207.
See? And I know that Missouri was significantly ahead for most of that game.
And again, so much of Missouri's rushing came on just a couple of plays. It still counts. So eliminate those big plays, and you're even better.
Jeff on the Buppies Catering and Bartending Hotline wants to talk about the 1985 Texas A&M versus Texas game.
The cotton falling from the stands of Kyle Field.
And that's like a beatdown, right? Didn't A&M?
It was a beatdown.
Yeah, Jeff, welcome to TexAgs. What's up, buddy?
Oh, just wanted to talk to y'all a little about history from 40 years ago. November 28th, 1985 was Thanksgiving night. It was 40 years ago when we beat Texas 42-10.
Yeah.
So it was also Jackie Sherrill's 42nd birthday.
Wow.
I didn't know that. I do remember that.
So we should call Jackie and wish him happy birthday.
Yeah, you should do that. I remember I was living in Longview dating a girl who went to Texas.
Yeah, it was the loudest game. I was in the Aggie band.
Was that the game where...
it was the loudest game I'd ever been at.
Was that the game where Stafford, I think it was Stafford, kept complaining because we can't hear.
That's exactly right. And unfortunately, because of that event, DeLoss Dodd went to the NCAA in 1986 and formed the Aggie band rule that said home teams can no longer play when the visitors have the ball. And that pretty much killed the Aggie band and causing lots of chaos at Kyle Field from that moment on.
Well, there's still plenty of chaos at Kyle Field.
Yeah, we've got that. Hey, Jeff, thanks very much for the phone call, buddy. Happy Thanksgiving the day after Black Friday day. How about that? Happy gig 'em.
Okay. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you. Also, a little significance of that game, that the 85 season ended with A&M having a 10-2 record, number 6 ranking after a Cotton Bowl victory over Auburn.
Bo Jackson stopped. Bo no-go at Cobo.
That's right. That's exactly right. OB, let's give some final thoughts here on the Go Hour. I mean, am I drinking too much maroon Kool-Aid? I feel really good.
I really believe that A&M has the better football team, and I really believe that they will win. I don't take it for granted because it is a rival game, and like I've said over and over, you cannot take a rival game for granted. But I do think A&M is the better team and will win if they don't help out Texas by missing field goals, a vast amount of penalties, turnovers, and such.
Yeah, I think it's going to be I hope it's a magical night. I think it's going to be a magical night. I do.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah,
12-0.
And if not,
then you got to just got to let it roll off your back
and learn from it
because you're going to have to win a playoff game. Playoff.
916 area code Aggies by 90, baby. That would make me happy. I would take that.
I could write my article at halftime.
Yeah, 45-0 at half. That would be great. Yeah. But I expect it to be a tight game until it's not.
As long as the Aggies win, I'll take it any way it comes.
When we come back, Jamie Morrison talking a little volleyball. SEC Mike after that. Of course, Billy Liucci, the final countdown, and maybe more. I don't know. We'll see you then. We're back here on TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers Rollo Insurance Studio. The volleyball NCAA tournament selection show is coming up on Sunday at 5 o'clock on ESPN. We'll find out where A&M is going to begin their postseason journey. I'm hoping right here at Rita Rita, coming off a hard-fought battle against Texas in the SEC tournament. Hopefully we'll turn up the noise the rest of the way. Our guest is our dear friend, Jamie Morrison, here in studio. Coach, how are you, sir?
I'm doing well. First off, just happy Thanksgiving. I know
Happy
it's a day
Thanksgiving,
late,
yeah.
but, I was just saying this outside. I'm thankful to everything that TexAgs does for our program. So
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. But by the way, I had somebody stop me. It was a volleyball fan. I can't remember who it was. Somebody in a press box. Who was it? I don't know. And they came up to me and they said, I can tell that you and Jamie are actually friends when you guys do interviews. I like your banter. I was like, And who knows where it's going to go when we chat. So.
No, I like our banter too. We did this remotely once, and you're like, even today, you're like, do it remotely. I'm like, no, it doesn't feel the same. I don't get to see you and hang out. So
poor Jamie is knocking on the door trying to get into TexAgs. Got a skeleton crew.
Yeah, for those of you that don't, also like this got rearranged to Friday, and I'm not used to football game days being on Friday. So like, oh yeah, Friday, and I'm like, oh, I get to be on a game day all of a sudden. But this place is a ghost town on a Friday game day.
As I traditionally do, by the way. The swag. The swag is good.
Yeah, I know. They took care of us with Adidas also. So.
Yeah, they do.
And the other thing I got to say is our season's not over. And I've had a lot of people come up and be like, great season. And like for our team, it felt like a little bit of a finality of like, we're in a tournament and you lose. And but it was a tournament rep. And like you said, the selection show's on Sunday. And I would say probably a certainty at this point that we're playing at home next Friday and Saturday.
So I forget how you phrased it, but you mentioned this, that match would make you better for the postseason for the NCAA tournament. Why?
It's interesting because I think all of us coaches were a little bit iffy on the SEC tournament. And again, things to be thankful for. We'll keep the Thanksgiving theme here. Just thought the SEC did a really good job running that tournament, making our athletes feel special, making it feel special. ESPN stepped up, did a really good job broadcasting with stuff in between matches and interviews within. And they brought cameras into the huddles and did a bunch of cool things. So I think it grew the sport. Which I think by now I'm really passionate about. And then the other piece just that we were talking about afterwards is all of these other Power 4 conferences don't know what it feels like to kind of have that match where there's a finality piece to it. Again, like we felt like it at the end where it's like, oh no, like we're still really good and we still get to be in the NCAA tournament next week, but we know what this feels like. And we talked about it coming into that first match against Vanderbilt. Like when you're playing in a tournament and you have a double bye, like Vanderbilt had played twice and they were used to kind of have the competitive juices going and being in that element. And it took us, I don't know, a little bit in that first set to get accustomed to it. And then it kind of clicked in. So I think it preps us in that idea that, hey, like we've been in that environment already. We know what that feels like. And as we get into the NCAA tournament and we play on Friday, we have a rep of that already.
As a coach, what's like the next few days like? Because you don't know your future. You have a pretty good idea. You think you'll be at Reed, right? But like, how do you start the coaching preparing part of it, not knowing who your opponent's going to be? Like, do you look at 8-10 teams? Do you just, we'll start on Sunday. What is that?
A little bit of all of it. I think one, if you kind of boil it down, like I wanted to make sure family is really important to me. So that's not just to me and my family, but to my players and my staff. And so we took a break for Thanksgiving, let people go home for kind of a day and a half. And I think it was kind of, I don't know, practice was pretty short. We also need to keep touch on the ball. So like we did practice on Wednesday, but it was really short. Our girls did a really good job coming in. And then it's kind of start to ramp up load a little bit and start to work on some little things for us. I thought Texas did some stuff game plan wise that was pretty smart, where I'm like, all right, I want to counterpunch to that. So we're going to work on a couple things in practice over the next 2 days, a little bit more geared towards us. And then in the background, just there's a lot of prep that goes into what happens scouting wise. And all of a sudden the NCAA tournament happens and they do a selection show. And like the way that all of our video is kind of stored in a server, all of a sudden you have 64 teams being like, I want video.
Right.
So we really try to do a good job of getting ahead of that and downloading teams that we could possibly play. So that'll be happening over the next few days, but it'll be, practice will be more about us. And then literally once that selection show happens, like in the past, it's been like a lot of logistics that happens too. Everyone doesn't think about the back end. And like I always look at football and what has to happen there, like getting this team from A to B. I'm like, man, but it's difficult with 30 people moving on the road. So usually we're like the last 2 years we've been traveling. So it's been like that selection show happens and like we're sitting in the hallways, like talking about charter flights, downloading video, scouting. And it gets kind of crazy for about 24 hours of trying to get all this stuff. And the nice thing is, again, I'm fairly certain we're going to be playing at home. So the logistical piece is already done of this is what a home tournament looks like here, the timing, everything that's going to happen. And then it's just hit play on that. And then it's just us worrying about volleyball. So there's some competitive advantage there too.
When would be the earliest you would play?
We'll play Friday. There's a basketball game here on Thursday. So.
Okay, so you'll play Friday. When you are preparing for a rival, when you're preparing for postseason play, how do you, and I'm thinking about football here, I'm thinking about what you all just went through here a couple days ago. How do you kind of channel your focus, your energy? Because there's I want to win this game so bad, right? Yeah. Like, but making sure that you stay in your element.
I think that's been done the entire season and the entire 3 years that I've been here. Like, you got to define who it is that you are. And I think one of the things that's, I don't know, most rewarding as a coach is when I hear our players come in here and they say something along the lines of, we just need to be us.
Right.
And there needs to be a clear definition of what us is, so that hey, if you start to stray from it, and I call it being anchored, like as a human being and as a team, like as a human being, if I'm normally calm, cool, and collected, or as a coach, I'm normally calm, cool, and collected, but I get super frantic, like I'm straying away from who it is that I want to be. So we talk about this a lot of what are the tools that can bring us back to that. But I think it's who are we? What is the definition of us as a volleyball team? Like how do we play? And you see this with, I don't know, styles of play sometimes. If you play a really fast team, sometimes there's this need to get like really antsy on our side and get super fast. And the better teams are like, no, like we're going to make you adjust to us. So we're going to play our style of volleyball regardless of what you're doing. It's not going to affect. And this is when people talk about having a young team versus an experienced team. A young team is going to get pulled. An experienced team, which is where we're at right now, is just going to stay true to who they are regardless of the circumstances. So what's on the other side of the net, what time of the year it is, if it's postseason or regular season, if it's a big match, if it's not, like you're going to stay consistent to who it is that you are. So that work's been done.
Talking to Jamie Morrison here on TexAgs Live. This team has shown the incredible ability to respond.
Yeah.
And luckily, there hasn't been many times that you've had to respond to a negative outcome, right? That's been the great part of the season. But when you have had some of those difficult nights, you've had a great ability to respond. What is it about this team that is able to do that?
Again, I think stuff that we've talked about over the 3 years. Like one of my biggest sayings, I care less about mistakes and I care more about the response. And that comes to the way that we, discipline within the team. That comes to if you make a hitting error on the court, like how you respond to that mentally, like what your body language looks like, how you're going to come to that next point. Like that matters a lot. And I think that's shown throughout the year. And like, again, we lost in the semifinal of this, but there was like so much to be thankful for at the end of it. And I was asked in that post-game press conference, like, how do you think this is preparing you? And I was like, I think we're ready. Like, we went out in the first set, they had a really good game plan, and I think the score was like 25-18 or something like that, and we weren't playing great. And the fact that we immediately turned it around and beat them 25-16 or something like that, like, that response was huge. So I actually don't even worry. Like, again, like, I don't know, that match happened. We had a day off. We kind of came back. We had practice yesterday, maybe our best 1 hour practice of the year. And I think it's just a product of the work that's been put in over the 3 years. If we're clearly, like, that is a piece of us. Like, when I say that, like, be us, it's like the response matters more than the mistake.
I don't want to focus on the Texas game too much, so I want to focus on trends of how you've played recently, going back to the Vanderbilt game and, at the end of the regular season. But what are some things that you're seeing from you that you really like, and what are some things that you're trying to fix along the way?
Yeah, I would say just our passing game has been pretty elite. I thought Vanderbilt, and this is the other response piece, I thought Vanderbilt kind of got on us. And that gym was a little bit different to play in, and like the interesting thing with that, everyone only got like a 40-minute practice in there. So you always have to get used to a space in our sport, this like the peripheral vision of everything that looks like the spatial view of kind of what happens. It gets a little different in different places. So I thought passing wise, kind of we worked into that tournament. I thought the first set, Texas was kind of mid-zoning us quite a bit, and we made some adjustments there and then clicked in. And I just think that's been the bedrock of kind of what has set stuff up to make our offense flow, to keep people on edge the entire time. And I think that has been elite. I think our offense has been elite. I think our medium system and out of system blocking and defense. And if I were to do like two areas, like we got a little bit higher in the beginning of that tournament and brought it back down. Again, when I talk about responses, like we were able to make changes within a match. So I think keep going on that front as much as we possibly can and make other teams beat us. And then some perfect pass block and D. Just when I was going back and looking at numbers, it's probably the thing we'll be working on. And then again, a couple small little tweaks to what we do just to adjust to what Texas might do. And hope I said it at the end of it. I hope we see them again in the tournament. We left that match feeling like we were the better team, and we let one go, and we want another chance at it.
How long do you allow happiness or sadness from a match to last for yourself and for your players? Like, because there's an appropriate time to be upset and there's appropriate time to be excited, but then like, is it a 24-hour thing? Is it a couple hours? Like, do you have a thought on that?
Depends on what's necessary. That was like my answer. Like I actually talked about it in the locker room afterwards, and I said, if I'm acting upset right now, it's not at you, it's with you. I said we should be like we felt like we were the better team in that, and I said like we should hold on to that for a little bit, but then at some point we got to let it go. So I think it's different for different people and the circumstances. Like if you play another match, we were playing another match the other day, next day, like we had with the national team. Sometimes like that has to be a 5-hour period. If you got a day off, you can let it sit with you, I think, for 12, 24 hours. But at some point, and I told them this, you got to learn from it. And the thing we've talked about with, losses with mistakes is like, hey, there's got to be a response that's positive, and then there has to be some learning from it. Because otherwise, it's a waste of, an opportunity for us to get better at something. So I said, take a look at the things that we wish we had back and make sure you file those away, because I hope we get to see that team again somewhere in the future.
I'm going to ask you about some certain players because we talk about them every week, but just where they are, how proud of them you are, and just the way they're playing. Kendall, was it her 500th career kill? Yeah. Just overall, the way she has integrated herself and played so well.
Yeah, and like I think people always focus on that kill number, but like we really value a well-rounded volleyball player, and she's one of the best passers, if not the. I think we just ran a study. She's probably in the top 3 or something like that in the country at that position. And the ability to kind of do it all in that is huge. So I think her blocking game has come around a lot since she first got here. Her serving game, she's been a weapon back there the entire time. So and then defensively, she sets the tone back there for what we do.
Sure.
So and then there's all these little tiny plays like a non-setter set or things like that. So she's a big piece of it.
And Logan, obviously a huge piece of it as well.
Yeah, she'll go down as one of the best players that's played here. So
in any sport, really.
Yeah, probably. And like I think the other piece with those players that have been here for all 3 years that I think they're really proud of is like the ability to help build this. And it's not just on the court; it's the way that they've marketed our program, come to TexAgs, have been a spokesperson for what's going on, and I think when you look at the end of her career, the numbers are going to be amazing, and she's going to be one of the best players. But the impact that she had will be felt beyond that.
I want to go back to something we started with about how the SEC tournament felt like a finale for the season. And a lot of times when people's season ends, it's like, man, if we got another chance at this, I know we could do this, this, and this. Isn't that the beauty of having that thought for that tournament and realizing, oh, wait, we're about to play for it all now?
Yeah, no, 100%. And I think it's the thing that we talked about as a staff afterwards, and our players kind of came back with that too a little bit, that like it felt like the end, but then all of a sudden it's like you get this next chance, and it's like, all right, we don't want to waste this one. And you pour in everything you have to kind of keeping the season going as long as you can.
Let's talk about what you all will be doing for Selection Sunday.
We're having a little selection show party. I don't know what to call it. Get together with our team and some family and a little bit of boosters, and we'll kind of be sitting there waiting to see what happens. And I remember year one, it was like pins and needles of are we going to be in the tournament? Right. And year two, it was like, all right, where are we going to be in the tournament? And now it's just it's how high of a seed are we going to be, and it's a cool evolution of kind of where we've been in the building that's happened from, again, the players I talked about, our staff, everyone involved in this, to get to a spot where we're looking to have the best advantage that we can in this to go to the Final Four.
Does it feel like your third NCAA tournament? Like we've done so many interviews that I know you've been here a while, but sometimes I'm like, he just got here.
Yes, both ways.
Yeah.
Simultaneously, it feels like I've lived a lifetime, and then also I just got here, a day ago. And again, like I talk on here, and then one thing I promise you guys is radical candor and honesty. Like the amount of work that's been put in by my staff, by my players, by myself, to get this program to where it is, like that stuff goes unseen. So like it feels like that's been a lot of it. Like I've given up a piece of me to go get this thing to where it is, and I know my staff feels the same way. And so it feels like, but then again, like it feels like the first time we sat down and I was nervous about all these cameras in the other studio. Like that feels like it was yesterday.
You set a culture, right? But it has to be player led. How proud of that are you?
Very. And it's interesting. Like I feel like our players, like we're so senior heavy right now that like they have a lot of autonomy in what we do, and like and with any team you ever have, like your players are going to be the thing that gets this to success or not. It has to be led by them. It has to be something that they want. Like as if it's not, like they're not going to work the amount that needs to be done. They're not going to make the choices that need to be made, and they're not going to play like this thing. The longevity of it depends on the way that they play, I guess, is what I'm going for there. So I'm proud of our girls. And again, going back to it, like I'm proud of our girls for like the performance on the floor this year, but also like when I talk about what we've built, I don't just mean myself. I mean our players. I mean our staff. Like we have done this together.
Mm-hmm. Are you pumped about tonight?
I am. I'm fired up for what Mike's done, because I think from the moment that I first heard him talk, and then the first moment I got to really sit down with him, I knew something good was going to happen, and I'm happy it's coming to fruition in year two. And I think tonight is obviously it's not the be all end all. Like football, I was just saying yesterday, football's a hard sport where you can be 10-0 and you lose one, and all of a sudden things are trending in the other direction. Chaos ensues. But I really got confidence in what he's doing over the long term, and I really got confidence in what they're going to do tonight.
And we got confidence in what you guys are going to do as well.
I appreciate that.
Thank you, Jamie. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Happy Black Friday, buddy.
Yeah, I'm going to go shopping right now.
Yeah, there you go. If you're looking for real peace of mind, because he's going to go shopping, he may need to hear this. And when it comes to your money, check out Aggie-owned Paragon Financial Advisors. They're an independent fiduciary serving clients all across Texas. No sales pitches, no commissions, just honest financial planning and investment. And what really sets them apart is the over 9 CFPs, the CFA, the CPA, all on staff, and they take their credentials seriously and work tirelessly to help you build a future that you can feel good about. Go to paragon-adv.com to get more information, or you can call them up at 979-693-3907, and you can schedule your free consultation today. It is Paragon Financial Advisors, integrity, expertise, and trust. Paragon Financial Advisors. Freaking game day, ladies and gentlemen. TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers Rollo Insurance Studio. I believe we are allowed to go to the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline, where we find our friend SEC Mike, who's traveling, because that's what that guy does. Mr. Mike, how are you, Mr. Bratton?
Hey, doing great, David. Thanks for having me, man. Always a pleasure.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you making some time for us. So, Mike, let's start off what you think. I know you have A&M winning, but let's start off what you think this game comes down to for both teams. Like A&M wins if, Texas wins if.
Yeah, Texas A&M wins if they just show us who they've been the entire season. And what exactly does that mean? It means they can win high scoring, they can win low scoring, they can win defensively, the game's on the line, and Marcel Reed's got to cash it in with a touchdown. We can go any route you want to go. And I just think that favors them so much in this football game because Texas is so one-dimensional, particularly on offense. They can't run the football. I don't think you can beat an elite team like A&M being that one-dimensional. I really don't.
Yeah, I agree with you, Mike. I don't know how much you know about my Aggie-ness when I put the fan hat on, not the analyst hat on, and sometimes they're the same person. But like I have been really confident this season. Where in years past, I'd be like, well, I'd poke a little bit more holes in us mentally, right? And this year, look, I recognize that Texas has got some studs, right? There's no doubt about it. Talent-wise, what they've done the last couple of years, I recognize all that. But what I've seen is an A&M team that, like, if they need to run the ball, they find a way to run the ball. If they need to throw the ball deep and get explosive plays, they can do that. If they need some sacks and put you on 3rd and long, they can do that. So I'm not typically this optimistic, even when things are kind of like last year when they were 7-1 heading to South Carolina. I believed in them a little bit, but not the same way I believe in them now.
Yeah, and it's what a credit that is to Coach Elko. He's getting the most out of his talent, whereas a guy like Sarkisian, I don't want to say getting the least out of the talent, but it's not far off. Not a punt return here, a punt return there. Texas has probably got 6, maybe 5 losses heading into this matchup. So, I mean, that's a big reason why A&M, if they win this game, I think they should be favored and will win in Atlanta the following week, regardless of who they play.
Well, Mike, when it comes to Texas's issues recently defensively, so I still think of them as the defense that I saw against Ohio State, as the defense that I saw early on. I know Oklahoma doesn't have much of an offense, but we were still thinking that Mateer was maybe a potential Heisman kind of guy, right? So I still think of him that way, but what we've seen the last, 4 or 5 weeks is like 35-plus points, right? What has happened to the Texas defense? Have they been exposed, or has it just been the way the games have been played?
I think they've had some injuries in the front 7. Now, everybody has injuries, so that's not really an excuse. But I think the biggest thing watching Texas is just how out of sorts they seem to be on the back end. And the communication is such a, particularly that Georgia game comes to mind where Mike Bobo, there was been so many times where Georgia fans want to run that guy off. It was a master class where it seemed like 4 or 5 different times he knew how to attack Texas defense and leave them with no answers on how to stop Gunnar Stockton. And I think Gunner's a nice player, but I don't think he's elite by any means. But Texas defense certainly made him look that way. So it was the defense that was holding this whole thing together, David. And even now that's falling apart for the Longhorns.
Talking to SEC Mike here on TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers Rollo Insurance Studio. I want to ask you about Pavia. I'm going to work my way back to A&M, but you had a tweet that said if Diego Pavia will win the Heisman if Vanderbilt beats Texas. What is it about Pavia that just is, right now, he's kind of under that line, but if he wins this game, you think will be above that line?
Well, I think for a lot of the Heisman voters, they'll really respect going into such a hostile environment and winning a crucial game. But if you haven't watched him already, I mean, he's just so dynamic. And I know there's been the Johnny Manziel comparisons for some of the plays he's made, particularly I'm thinking back to the LSU game. But he is really an elite passer. I mean, in terms of SEC, I believe he's up there with, I think he's top 2 or 3 in passing yards. He's number 1 in passer rating. He's number 1 in completion percentage. They are able to push the ball down the field, and he is just such a driving force for Vanderbilt and this potential playoff run that they're in. But I think he needs a big game against a quality opponent on the road, something that he had some turnovers against Alabama, Texas. They started too slow, and they tried to catch up, but it was too little too late. I think he needs a big game to kind of get the attention of more Heisman voters.
All right. Well, let's say that happens, and Marcel Reed does his thing tonight against Texas and in the SEC championship game. How does that kind of change the way you look at the Heisman?
Yeah, well, and then in my mind, it's Diego and Marcel 1-2. And put that in any order. It's going to be fascinating to see how they do that. But I just wonder, fair or not to Marcel, and it's probably not fair, but I think a lot of the people will look at just what a story Vanderbilt is. I mean, Vanderbilt may never do this ever again if they go 10-2, and they may not make the college football playoff. And whether they do or don't, that in my mind that shouldn't be held against Diego Pavia, but it may. I mean, that is going to be one heck of an argument. And I understand any A&M fan saying, well, we went undefeated. Marcel deserves it. And I wouldn't argue it. I honestly wouldn't.
Your name is SEC Mike. We've talked about this before. It's not Big Ten Mike. It's not Big 12 Mike. It's not college football Mike. It's SEC Mike. So when I ask you this question, it's based on what you think will happen. If the SEC's got a couple of teams that are 10-2 that are outside looking in of the playoffs, what happens now with the extension to the college football playoffs for the future when they have more time to discuss it?
I think Commissioner Sankey will get his way, and we're going to have to do away with these automatic bids, regardless of conference, and we'll go more to top-ranked teams because I don't know who it'll be, but if it's Tulane or North Texas, I get it. Being a fan of those programs, if we move to just the top 16 or 14 or what have you, it's not going to be fair to those teams. But it's ridiculous to me if there's any 10-2 SEC teams that don't make the college football playoff. It's just not the same. And again, Indiana and Ohio State, they may be the two best teams in the country. I don't believe that, but they may be. That's fine. The rest of that league, short of maybe Oregon, is not even in comparison. And I don't think those teams, even Ohio State and Indiana, I don't think they could compete week in and week out in the SEC and go undefeated. I just don't. SEC strength of schedule and all the teams in this conference, that has to be recognized.
Mike, is it SEC fatigue that people, like the way folks are poking holes in A&M's schedule, which I understand it, forget to poke holes in Indiana's schedule or Ohio State's?
I mean, that's an excellent question. I think so, because I don't know what else A&M could prove. Again, we just went through it. They can win any number of ways. A massive comeback, a massive second half performance. They win at home. They win on the road. They've done everything humanly possible to impress the committee. And how they're not number one in the rankings, I'll never know. To my knowledge, you tell me if I'm wrong.
No.
Again, I don't watch a lot of Big Ten football, but I think Ohio State's best win is Texas, and I mean that's laughable because that may be A&M's like fifth best win by the end of the season.
Do you really think so? Like you really don't think Texas? Like if you were to rank A&M's wins, Notre Dame would be one. What would be 2, 3? LSU, Missouri?
I mean, I guess I just don't have much respect for Texas, but yeah, going on to LSU, just the fashion they did it. Heck, I would say even South Carolina, the fashion they did it. We'll have to see how this Texas game plays out, but I mean, they're Texas 8-4 as far as I'm concerned. As soon as they lose to A&M on tonight.
Let's talk a little Bama Auburn. I don't have your picks in front of me, but how do you see this playing out?
Yeah, I think people are getting a little worked up over Alabama losing to Oklahoma. I mean, again, that not to say that was like a great loss at home, but that doesn't diminish what Alabama is. We can go back to the committee, how ridiculous. I believe Alabama is the first team ever to go 4 straight weeks beating 4 ranked teams without a break. That's literally never been done in college football history. I guess, according to the committee, there's about 9 different teams that are capable of doing that. But I think Alabama is a national championship contender. I think Auburn is lucky to be a 6-6 program. So I think Alabama wins it pretty convincingly. I think I think Jordan Hare's overrated home field advantage. I mean, I know there's been some historically great games there, but it's been many, many years. So I think Alabama easily wins.
Why do you have State beating Ole Miss?
No. That's I certainly don't. That cousin Shane has got that, and I think he was having too much Tennessee legend. It's a official spirit of that SEC podcast. I think he had too much that day.
All right. So what do you make of this matchup because of all the drama? Is it because it's the Lane Kiffin team that, he said it himself, the bunch of renegades is kind of different? Like that's why they can weather the drama because they just have to be a unit on one day. They don't have to worry about the future.
Yeah. I mean, again, this probably will be a really competitive game because of even under Lane Kiffin, I believe he's 4-1 against State, but they've basically all been very close to where it doesn't really seem to matter how the caliber of Ole Miss and Mississippi State. It's a hard-fought game, and I anticipate this one will be as well. If Mississippi State jumps out to a lead early, it's going to be very curious to see because, how does that not weigh on the team? But I just don't. This is another one where I think we overcomplicate these things, David, because Ole Miss is, again, they could very well win the national championship themselves. Mississippi State, I think they've really run out of steam here. So I think Ole Miss should win it, but it wouldn't shock me if Mississippi State is competitive in the fourth quarter and pulls one out. But, man, if it goes down to the wire, Lane Kiffin's going to have to answer some serious questions for losing this one if it happens.
Where do you think Lane ends up?
At this point, I go back and forth. I think he's staying. I think he'll stay at Ole Miss because they're not going to allow him to coach in the playoff. And I just don't know how you walk away from that. I don't even know if they'll let him coach in the SEC championship game, which I don't think Ole Miss will make it, but they're still alive for it. So I can't imagine he would walk away from that. I really don't.
Mike, last question for you. I don't think this is going to happen, but I just want to ask you the question. It came up with Olin on the show a couple days ago. What happens if Georgia Tech beats Georgia? Just play out that scenario and what that means for who gets in, who gets out, what it means for Georgia, what it means for Georgia Tech.
Yeah, I mean, that's fascinating. I haven't even really considered that because of what a heater Georgia has been on. But that now Georgia Tech, they're. What that's probably going to do, or what it may do, is squeeze the SEC once again. So even if you're not a dog fan, if you're an SEC fan, I think you got to be rooting pretty hard for Georgia. Georgia, I still think they'd be fine to make the college football playoff, but they're putting their hopes in the fate of the committee, and that's, as we know, this committee does not seem to be very on top of things. So I wouldn't want to be in that position. I'll just put it that way.
Mike, I hope you had a great Thanksgiving, man. Safe travels. We'll talk to you soon.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you, buddy. SEC Mike there on the Bubby's Catering and Bartending Hotline. We'll hit a break. Think we'll have Billy? We'll try him on some kind of mobile apparatus. Maybe a Zoom link, maybe a phone call. Maybe he'll be here in studio. I don't know. Looking forward to talking to Billy on TexAgs Live. When it comes to... Actually, I want to tell a story. I'm going to talk Heritage Films. You want to hear a story? All right, so... I was with my parents visited Wednesday. We did a heritage film on my dad years back, but my parents were visiting on Wednesday, and we went to the Park at Traditions. It's a nice retirement community. I'm trying to recruit my parents to move here. It's a great facility. And I walk in, and a lady goes, "Hey, I know you." And I was like, "Oh, really?" She's like, "Yeah, you know Chance McClain from Heritage Films. My boyfriend watches you, and I just know you through Chance and Heritage Films." So it wasn't they knew me through TexAgs. They knew me through Heritage Films. Is that a first? I think it's the first, yeah. She goes, my boyfriend watches you all the time, so I know about Heritage Films through him. And then, And I was like, oh, thank you. It was a very nice conversation. But Chance is doing great things. Old people love telling their story. Mm-hmm. Young people love telling their story. Family businesses should be telling their story. Yeah. I'm telling you and the audience. Have you noticed that I'm going back and forth to you and to the audience? Family ranches. If a family ranch could speak, what would it say?
I want my story told.
See, how did you know I was going to ask you that and answer that way?
I don't know.
All right. So basically, get a documentary done by going to yourheritagefilm.com. You're going to be blown away by the experience. Yourheritagefilm.com, 713-893-8341. It is Heritage Films. Hey, everybody. David Nuño, TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. We go to the Bumpy's Catering Bartending Hotline. We are joined by, I'm getting seasick. We're joined by Billy Liucci on the line. What's up, Billy? Good morning, buddy.
Am I on the phone or am I on Zoom?
You're on the phone.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
we're not on video.
You're not on video for the world, but I did see you walking Griff.
Well, you might want to make sure of that. I'm walking Griffin, so
I'm 100% sure. I see myself on the TV screen on the CW.
It would make everybody seasick.
I'm getting seasick by the bottom left of my. You know how we have those four quad.
Look.
I'm trying. Look at my eye. I look like a hostage person, like trying to read a news script. Like I am fine. No one. They're treating me great. Billy, who's got to perform tonight? When we think about this match, I'm going straight into it. Who has to perform?
I mean, we know the obvious answer, cliches, everybody, because it is going to take this is going to have to be the best team game A&M's played. Maybe I'm trying to think of which game I need to switch team. I need to see. It might be like, as odd as it might sound, it might be like it's like Florida or LSU, A&M. You know, like I know those games were tight for a little bit, but over the course of 60 minutes, A&M played so well they just proved that they just outclassed the Gators and Tigers, and usually they were just flat out better. But that was a game where you saw both those games. You saw some great defense for large stretches of the game, not 60 minutes, but long stretches of the game, and you saw terrific offense against teams that we were told have good defenses, for large stretches of both those games as well. The whole really most of the game against LSU, and certainly the start and finish against Florida. So I think that team has to show up. As far as individually, it goes without saying Marcel Reed. I mean that we could just do that every week. I don't think that matters if it's Texas or unless it's a team that the Aggies can just line up and run up and down the field on, which those don't really exist in the SEC. So they haven't seen any of that anyway. And I know the rushing totals say that they have, but those have been hard earned over the course of 4 quarters. And so my second thing would be that O-line has to step up. I don't say step up because they've been up, but they have to rise to the occasion again. And they have to say, not on my watch, not this year. And I think Torian York's the same way on defense. If Texas can't run the ball, and I know there's a world where they might come out, Nuño, and just say, we can't run, so we're not going to, and we're going to beat you with a bunch of short screen passes and bubbles and perimeter stuff, and then take shots over the top mixed in and get y'all via the big play, because that's what we do. But Torian York and that front, the defensive front last year, Texas ran for, almost, I think, 300 yards on them. Wisner ran for 200. So I think York and the O-line should be so motivated. And if we see a big game from 21, I think that means we see a big game from the A&M defense as well.
Billy, this is another obvious question, but with this matchup last year, one of the big difference, and I don't want to use the word physicality, but their defensive line won the battle against our offensive line, right? So this year, the physicality battle, the trenches battle, which is always important in every SEC game, but considering you're going on the road against one of the better defensive lines you have faced this year, let's talk about the physicality in this game of inches.
Yeah, I mean, that's what's won A&M games this year. It's what it's been. They've been the more physical team in every game they've played, and just about every, if you want to even break it down by halves, you could count on one hand the number of halves out of 20, 22 of them that they've played, that they've been out physicaled on either line of scrimmage. So it's their identity. You look at guys like that on like the O-line, you look at Regis, you look at Hicks and on Yedem, and then the defensive ends, Cassius Howell has all those sacks. They've been physical on the perimeter as well and setting the edge. So I think physicality is the calling card of this football team. and they talk it, they back it up. They understand that when you buckle that chin strap, it's for 60 minutes. It's not for, the start of a game, it's for the full game when you're playing A&M. So I think that's the part I don't question, but they need it. Like, I want to see this A&M defensive front, like, remind everyone that Texas offensive line has looked better, more so based on who they're playing than them actually being good. Like, A&M needs to exploit that position battle if they're going to win tonight. That is one of the big advantages, based on tape and a year's worth of results that A&M should exploit, but they have to go out and do it. You have to go out and make that offensive line look like what they've been most of the season. That's what Georgia did. People forget that. Georgia did that 2 weeks ago, and they scored 10 points. Florida did that. Mississippi State did it for a large chunk of the game. Kentucky did that. The one outlier, though, and it makes you remind you that you better not overlook it, is I think they did a pretty good job against Oklahoma. Again, though, the pretty good job resulted in Texas scoring one offensive touchdown in that game.
Billy, another advantage I think A&M has is Texas' recent trend to give up points and A&M's seasonal trend to score points on the road, 38 plus in every game?
Yeah.
And it could have been more in the Missouri game.
Yeah, I mean, it is weird to me how I mentioned this on Mac and Cube this morning, how people keep overlooking. There's two things they're overlooking when talking about Texas. And one of them is, like I said this week, 4 games and 8 Power 4 teams, and they've scored one offensive touchdown. I don't expect that tonight. I think they're going to be locked in, and execute well as possibly can. So I'd be surprised if A&M held them down like that. But there is a point to say, look, you guys are getting carried away over what they've done in the last 3 weeks against Vandy and Mississippi State, Vandy, and Arkansas, not Georgia. So, and then the other one is, yeah, they're talking about 50-something points against Arkansas, but I've only heard like 1 or 2 people point out the recent trend defensively for them. And I was asking McElroy, like, what, I'm watching the games, like, he just says there's just way too many, they're almost like they're doing too much. They're asking them to do too much. And they're busting and giving up these massive plays. And A&M is a big play offense. So I'd expect them to go out tonight and go after that.
Billy, last thing for you. Got about a minute before we got to hit a break, and then we'll do the final countdown. Key to the game to you, what is it? Not turning the ball over and forcing Texas to be what they've been, one-dimensional all season?
That you telling me?
I'm asking. Do you think that's the key?
Yeah, I guess so. I agree with you. Yeah. So, I think that and just getting off to a good start, and that doesn't mean racing out to a lead. That'd be ideal, but just a good start where you just kind of serve notice. Like, Georgia was only up 14-10 going into that fourth quarter, and that was just kind of a little bit like Georgia had some misses that they could have extended that and really put pressure, but even 14-3, they just served notice. Like, everybody there that night knew, like, Georgia's better. And A&M did that in Baton Rouge. It was the weirdest thing because they're trailing at halftime, and despite all the battered Aggie stuff, I know very few people that really thought, oh, man, LSU's better. They're going to beat us. Like, just serve notice early on to say, like, look, we're the better team. Just like you guys, you haven't acknowledged it out loud, but you've suspected it. So sit there and be quiet, and that's how you take the crowd out of the football game. Be apprehensive that the other shoe is about to drop. Be nervous, and that's how you take. Look, to be perfectly honest, do what Texas did at Kyle Field last year.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it has to be 17-0. but they scored first. They quickly had they got a big stop early on 4th down to take the crowd out of it. Then they scored, and it was like 7-0. I don't know, midway through the second quarter or whatever it was. And, A&M makes a couple mistakes. You look up, boom, it's 14. Or it was 10-0 or 17. I think it was 14-0 first. And that place was very quiet, unusually quiet for Kyle Field for most of that football game. That's what great teams do on the road, and it's what A&M's done on the road at Missouri. They let that little run right there before halftime against Arkansas bring the crowd into it, but they had really silenced that crowd up. They were up like 21-6. They've done a great job of it, and they just need to keep doing that, though, because I think that's one of the keys to the game as well.
Billy, thank you. We'll see you on the final countdown.
All right, I'll see you magically in like a minute.
All right, that's Billy Liucci on the Bubby's Catering Bartending Hotline. We'll be back, I hope, for a final segment on the 9 o'clock hour. Bye. As a reminder, the final segment of the day is brought to you by Double Dave's. That's at 10:50. But right now, caller number 12, 979-693. Going super fast. 11:50. We're going to hook you up with your choice of a dozen pepperoni rolls or a large one-topping pizza from Double Dave's. They've been serving Aggieland since 1984 with your favorite pizza and, of course, your world-famous pepperoni rolls. Reliable in-house delivery, bringing piping hot goodness straight to your door. Just click on doubledaves.com, and your favorites are on their way. Fake segment alert. I love Texas A&M football. That's the content you're getting. In the next hour, the final countdown. Steve, Seth, Billy, David, kind of. I'm in it for a little bit. That and more. It is the final countdown brought to you by La Casa Tequila. Next. Welcome into a special recorded edition of the Final Countdown with Steve, Seth, and Billy, presented by La Casa Tequila. Raised in Aggieland, rooted in the SEC. Hello, friends. How's everybody?
We're great, baby. It's game week, finally.
Good. Hate week.
All right, so
I like it.
Let's start off with how pumped we are for this game. And I'm going to set it up a little bit. This year, everything has gone right. Right? Even when it's gone wrong, they have found a way to get things right. You're taking on your rival. They're the only thing stopping you from an SEC championship berth going to that game. So, Steve, you're going to start us off this morning. How pumped are you for this game this year, for all that's at stake?
I'm at 1 out of 10. I'm an 11. That's how pumped I am, man. This is exciting, dude. We had a lot to play for last year, but it just feels a lot different this season. I don't know. It feels like the stakes are really high. This has been such a special season. I really think it has to end with a trip to Atlanta, for it to really feel the way I want it to feel. I mean, obviously we're locked into the playoffs, but man, you got your rival on the road, which we've played so great on the road this year. I expect that to continue Friday night, man, and we got to get back in the W column against these guys.
Hey, last year you had 3 weeks to win a game to go to the SEC championship, and this year it's only 1, which is insane to think about. But I think our guys, like you said, Steve, just played lights out the whole year. They've never given up. When things got tough, they not only overcame, they just started dominating people. And they've shown it all year, and we just have to go out there Friday and punch them right in the face from play one. And Arch has shown that if he gets punched in the face, he can't react as well as he can if everything's normal and calm back there for him. So I like where we stand. We all know Texas is the enemy. We hate them desperately. I do. Hopefully you guys do too. And we're going to go out, and it's going to be exciting, man. I'm going to be there. I can't wait.
I love Seth.
You're right, too, about the response, right? They're down at halftime by 27, outscore them 28-0. They're down by 4 in Baton Rouge, outscore them 35-0. It's a close game against Missouri on the road. They go in the locker room, come out, and just blow that game open. Florida, same thing. 14-14, you outscore them, what was the final? 38-17. Mm-hmm. You outscore them 24-3 the rest of the way. Like, going all the way back to Notre Dame, you run a kickoff back. Well, you get a punt block for a touchdown on the first possession on the road in a big game. Like, what a way to start your season, essentially, right?
Yeah.
Then you go run a kickoff back 100 yards with a couple minutes left in the game, down 6, on the road, top 10 game, kickoff, holding, called back. Mm-hmm. You just get the ball and go all the way down the field. Then you face 4th and 11, touchdown, right? Was it? Yeah, 4th and 11 with 13 seconds left. From day one, this team has answered the bell and responded. Mm-hmm. And you mentioned them on the road.
Every time, man.
The road record. You mentioned, I think the biggest difference in this team, the 2 biggest differences to me are their ability to score points, like what I just talked about, and their ability to understand the moment, the pressure, what's at stake, and just handle it. Mm-hmm. And handle it however they have to. Because you go back to last year, and neither one of those things were true. The way they didn't respond to adversity at South Carolina, the way they didn't respond and kind of overlooked Auburn to fall behind 21-0 and then couldn't handle the moment there. And then when they played Texas, I thought, and we'll talk about this in a minute, I thought that game and kind of everything about it just felt a little too big for one team until kind of there towards the very end, they kind of got their footing. But that's night and day different. And then the other thing is the point thing, right? You lost to South Carolina because you didn't score in the second half. This year you scored 28 on them in the second half. You lost to Notre Dame because you couldn't complete a pass,
right.
couldn't score
at all.
And you lost to Texas. You didn't score an offensive touchdown. So now this team, again, in both of those areas, it's just night and day different. And I agree with what Steve said. Like, the end game is Atlanta, and for multiple reasons, the most obvious of which is that you got to beat Texas to get there. Mm-hmm. And if you don't, you probably won't. But also, you're this close to being able to, you're one game from being able to go to Atlanta, you're 2 games from winning an SEC championship. You've done neither. And there's a huge payoff for that, too, which is avoiding sliding. I know we want a home game. That's like a nice consolation prize. But you avoid sliding into that spot. You don't play again until New Year's. You can get everybody healthy. You can let everybody beat up. I think there's a huge advantage, a ton of advantages besides just the fact that you hate them. No, I'm serious. Like, that used to be the number one thing, right? There's a lot at stake for A&M if they win. It's not the end of the world if they lose.
Dude, I mean, I hear what you're saying, and I do agree on some level, but I'm going to tell you right now, man, the bye week, to me, you get everybody healthy, but you also can lose a lot of mojo, man. It's a real thing. You see it in the NFL all the time.
Let me ask you this.
I've experienced it.
So.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't disagree about a bye. Y'all do realize everyone's getting a bye.
I do realize that. I'm just
then everyone's getting another bye between that round of playoffs and New
first
Year's.
round.
Yeah.
But
so you think playing one game in a month is going to have that other team that much more ready?
I'm not saying it's going to be.
You're wondering.
I'm just saying that there's a little something to it to
Yeah.
go that long of a stretch without playing a game.
I agree.
Like maybe 2 weeks is fine, but when you're going like 3 or 4 weeks without playing, like yes, you can definitely lose a little bit of your mojo.
Well, the teams were
early
over.
on, you know.
And Saban talked about
Well,
it.
we should
didn't
just
he,
go
on-
lose to Texas then.
He's just mailing it.
Just throw
But he
it.
talked about it
that.
just like it's like 15 practices over that month, and you just spread them out effectively and manage that whole process versus taking a full week off or whatever. You just have to manage your time. But I have faith in Elko. If anything,
I do. I want to win. I want to win this one. I want to win an SEC championship. I mean, I'm just saying. If we don't,
It's
if we have
not
to
the
play,
end of the
it's not the
world.
end of the world.
You're
If
right.
we have to go play a home game.
My
might be
concern would be this. My concern would be dropping
6 or 7
from 3 to 6 or 7, and if that happens, you're not getting your G5 or G5 team.
Right.
But you could be looking at Notre Dame, Oklahoma, Miami, like real teams.
Tough team,
and again, like the response to that would be, hey, if you're going to win a national title, you're going to have to beat a couple teams actually probably better than those teams. So why not just make it 3? I get it.
Let's just win Friday.
And losing to Texas doesn't mean that you can't beat OU, Miami, or Notre Dame, who, by the way, you already beat. But I'm just saying, I still think the risk of a much more difficult path involves not winning that game Friday. It doesn't guarantee it. You could be the 5 seed and then play like a 4 seed Indiana in the next round in New Orleans or Dallas and be like, great. But I'm just saying it sets up in such a way that you're better off just going down there to Austin, winning that game. A perfect season matters. SEC championship game matters. You can win that game. I think your quarterback can win a Heisman Trophy with 2 wins.
No, obviously winning there's a lot more positives
I'm with you
coming out of
though.
that.
It's not the end of the world, but and that's the reward for A&M being in the position they're in. And thank God they didn't lose to South Carolina, because losing to Texas might have been the end of the world.
I do want to go back to something that you alluded to a moment ago, the thin margins. Like, it's going to take a 12-0 season for A&M to go to the SEC championship game. There's no room for any error.
Yeah, I remember saying it like last year. I was like, we'll never get an opportunity where there's 3 games and all you got to do is win one of them and you get to go. Yeah. If you look back, I don't remember all the schedules, but there was whatever the quirk was, it was insane that we had that ability. And now you're sitting on the opposite end of the spectrum going, we can't even lose one game? I mean, it's crazy to think about.
It is crazy. I'm just glad we're locked into playoffs, man.
I know.
Look, this is you're right, but this is, we wait for this every year.
Yep.
9 months of waiting around for it, talking about it, debating it, arguing about it, fretting over it, the whole thing, right? We've got a business built around it. We exist during those months of the wait, right, and thrive because people love it so much. But to me, the thought of the possibility of beating Notre Dame in front of Touchdown Jesus in South Bend, beating LSU at night in Death Valley on
their
national
coach
TV.
fired.
But yeah, going and beating Texas in Austin when they've got slim playoff hopes and they're convinced they're going to beat you. And not to mention avenging all 4 of your regular season losses last year if you do that. And then to go do those things and then go to Atlanta and beat at Alabama or Georgia to that list. Like, I know it's about it's about a national title. I know it's about a national title, but you can always just keep going and do that too. You can add Ohio State. You can add, Oklahoma or Tech or whoever you feel like you want to beat. That's still out there, but to be able to do that, that would be the greatest season in Texas A&M history. Never
to be touched
I'd put that
until you win a national championship.
I'd put that up against a lot of colleges' histories for greatest season ever, right there.
Mm-hmm.
If you do what you got to do to win a national championship from this point forward, going undefeated, that that would rank as the top of just
the hardest is yet to
infinite
come.
lists. Yeah,
And I do. There is. I disagree with everybody trying to harp on the schedule, because all you need to do is look at Indiana, look at Ohio freaking State that no one's talking about. They hadn't played a team with a pulse in 8 weeks. You look at
Oregon State. Oregon just played their first winning record team, right?
You look at Oregon, Indiana, Ohio State, Texas Tech. They just keep convincing themselves that the best football apparently in the country is played in the state of Utah. That's what they would have you to believe.
For real.
All of these teams, and there's a couple others I'm forgetting as well. Hell, Notre Dame is another one.
Yeah.
Like A&M and Notre Dame wash out, and they played Miami and nobody.
Right.
I mean, if you put the not just the records, because that's what everybody's focused on, is the records of the teams we beat. Well, we're part of the reason they have that record. And then secondly, take out the record, look at the talent on those teams. Compare the talent level of the teams we've beaten to the talent level of the teams Indiana and Ohio State beat.
No one wants to go that in depth, Steve.
Yeah.
We try to keep it up here face level, like right here above the table.
Even though that's what the committee should do.
Right, exactly.
I don't blame fans for not doing it so much. It's what the committee should do. It's what jackasses in the national media, like Matt Hayes, that write an article that's just a hit piece on A&M not playing, kind of almost begging for A&M to drop like a rock if they don't beat Texas. That's how it read.
He wrote something about saying, we'll find out if they're really a contender or a pretender, basically.
Yeah. We've been pretending all year, you know. Yeah.
Here's my thing. Come on. If A&M, this is not the most difficult SEC schedule the Aggies have seen. We know that. That's fine.
Yeah.
Again,
it's okay. We've faced plenty. We've faced plenty.
It looked pretty good before the season started.
It did.
It looked like a pretty tough.
I don't think
schedule.
anybody was sitting here going, "Hey, we'd be 11-0 going to Texas," and if you did, you'd be laughed off the stage.
The other thing about the schedule that's such bullshit is go back to the weeks A&M played these teams. I don't know if it was you and I talked about that.
What they were saying about those teams?
LSU was supposed to beat A&M. LSU is 5-2, ranked in the top 15, or 6-2. I think 5-2. Had they
Missouri, they were all supposed to beat us.
Had they beaten A&M, they were going to be in the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
It was at night, and you go to Missouri. Now they didn't have their starting quarterback. Not that he was that good anyway, but they were ranked. And if they beat A&M, they're sitting there going, "We can go 10-2." When you played Florida, who sucks. At that week, they were a week removed from beating Texas.
Yep.
Coming in here thinking they would save Napier's job in the season. Their offense was firing on all cylinders. They tormented Arch Manning. They beat the brakes off of Texas. Forget that score.
Yep.
They came in here rolling and lost by 17. So Mississippi State, the week before the Aggies played them, lost in overtime to a top 10 Tennessee team. So it wasn't like you're lining these teams up today and saying, "Hey, play a bunch of interim head coaches."
Mm-hmm.
It's not. The only interim head coach they played is Petrino, and even that one was different because it was a hours-long rain delay in his return to Fayetteville for the first time in 12, 13 years.
And that same offense just scored with their backup quarterback for half the game.
37
points against Texas.
Yeah.
All right, let's hit a break here. We'll come back. I want to talk about the physicality of the line of scrimmage against Texas, kind of break that down, what you've seen from the line, what you need to see, and what you've seen from the Texas line as well. That and more. You're listening to the Final Countdown, brought to you by La Casa Tequila on TexAgs Live. Let's talk a little Snaps clothing. David Nuño here, and I love wearing Snaps clothing everywhere. I've got the flannel on right now. You've seen me in the Tailgater collection with the A&M gear. It is fantastic. If you see me around town with my sons, Christian and Cruz, they've got a bunch of Snaps gear. When they have big games for Consol, they wear nice clothes, so they wear their Snap stuff. And I'm telling you, with baseball season here, let's all kind of go looking stylish and fit to the games there at Olsen wearing the Snaps clothing. As a reminder, they are the only official licensed Texas A&M Pearl Snaps maker out there. Their Tailgater collection is built for game day with breathable, moisture-wicking fabrics to keep you comfortable while you rep your Aggies in style. Now, whether you're watching the game from home or maybe you're in attendance, you're tailgating, whatever it may be, you got to make sure you head to snapsclothing.com to see everything they have to offer. It is fashionable, it is awesome, and you're going to love it. And we are back here on the final countdown with Steve, Seth, and Billy, presented by La Casa Tequila, raised in Aggieland, rooted in the SEC. So I still wanted to talk about the offensive lines, or really just the line of scrimmage. A&M has been such a dominant force on the line of scrimmage, especially when it gets to the fourth quarter. What have you seen from this O-line, Seth, you start us off, that tells you, all right, A&M's going to be able to run the ball on a Texas defense that's done a very good job at stopping the run?
They've shown me nothing all year to tell me that they're not going to do the job. Like, our guys have been prepared from day one, and they have been effective the whole year, man. They've done a great job. Very few mistakes out there, very few mental errors. There have been penalties at times or whatever, but all that stuff's been corrected. These guys have just been out and dominated most games that they've played in, and if not dominated, played very, very well. And Texas has a good defensive line. They've got the Colin Simmons kid. He's got 10 sacks or whatever he's got. He's doing great. But I'm not over here shaking in my boots because we've got guys that can stop him and neutralize him and do a great job against him. So I think they're going to go out there and do a fine job of running the ball. We have to establish that. We've proven that we need to establish that to do what we need to do offensively and be effective. And then on the flip side of that, when they have the ball, I'm totally bullish on our defensive line versus their offensive line. I think we're going to get to Arch, and that's what's going to cause them havoc. We'll get him off his mark and get him rolling and panicking back there. And we've got the guys to do that, and they don't have anybody. They don't have the guys to stop us from doing that.
Yeah,
Steve.
I mean, one thing, as you're watching this offensive line, like early in the season, you see a lot of guys rotating around and stuff. It's a little unusual. You don't see that a lot, but I like what it's done, and it's given us 7 to 8 guys now with a lot of game experience. And when a guy goes down, a guy gets banged up, it's not a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of teams, your center has to come out even for a snap. You're worried about it.
Yeah.
Not us. We got 3 guys that can play center. We got 2 or 3 guys that can play left tackle, right tackle, 4 guys that can play guard. So, and they're all mature guys. That's the thing too, is that a veteran offensive line, regardless of talent or anything else, like just being that age and that developed is a huge plus. Now you add the talent that we have on top of the experience. I mean, when we roll into Austin, they don't have what was the guy's name? Collins last year.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have Collins on the other side.
Broughton.
Those 2 guys aren't there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the 2 guys they have, they're not bad players, but they're not those guys.
No.
Now Colin Simmons is a problem.
Yeah, he's
a problem, no question.
You might be watching. Well,
and Crownover needs to have his best game of the year. He really does. Like, no penalties, play a clean game, no false starts, no holds.
say this:
We're gonna be in good
Dylan
shape.
Stewart was a problem throughout the first half last week. Now they neutralized him in the second, but yeah, they're going to have to. You're right. That's the matchup that I think you circle when A&M has the ball, and you go, man, how do they have the answer to that? And hey, that's Crownover, that's Zune, that's Fathery. They've played a ton of football.
Yeah,
and that's sticking to the O-line. Like, that's why A&M lost the game last year. Not the O-line, the line of scrimmage.
Mm-hmm.
Texas' O-line was the veteran group with a bunch of NFL-bound dudes that had been starting there three years or more, and they shoved A&M around. And they won. They ran for 300 yards. They dominated the point of attack. When the Aggies had the ball, this A&M O-line, Besantis had kind of just come back. They didn't have Moss. They didn't have a real effective run game. And those dudes pinned their ears back, and this was it was a solid O-line all year, but nothing special. You look at games like Notre Dame, like South Carolina and Texas, even Auburn to an extent. Those defensive fronts got to them. This year, it's A&M with the experience playing college football and age. You guys know it matters.
Yeah,
at that
especially
position
on the offensive line.
It absolutely matters. And then on the D line, A&M. Now you see Texas with complete and total inexperience not complete and total, but a lot less experience up front. And I'm being sold that they've made all these vast improvements up there, but I'm going, maybe they have. And I will say they do look better than they did, but they played Arkansas's defensive front, Vandy's defensive front, Mississippi State,
even
Kentucky, even Georgia. Because if you ask anybody in Georgia, they'll tell you that D line and that front seven and their ability to get to the quarterback and make tackles in the backfield is way down than what it's historically been. But guess what happened in that game? They ran for like 30 yards and scored 1 touchdown. If you win, going back to what Seth said, if this defensive front seven and Torian York and Damian Sanford and if Scooby Williams plays, like these guys need to remember what happened on this field last year. If you're a linebacker, you're a defensive guy, you're embarrassed. They ran for that they ran for those yards against you on your home field. So if you win that line of scrimmage, I think you like you said, I think you get after Arch. Teams have done that. I'm not buying into this is a new football. To me, I've watched a lot of media people show their ass here lately on how quickly they jump onto Texas when they win games.
Oh, exactly. But come on, that's not new.
Yeah,
that's not new. But the deal is like put us in the same situation, having played Arkansas, and people would be raving on our offense too. You know,
no, they weren't because they were talking bad about our defense.
If I was a player on this
I know,
Texas
but
A&M,
I'm just saying our offense.
If I was a player on this Texas A&M team, I would be, first of all, pissed off, feeling disrespected, because nothing all week has been talked about positively about A&M.
You're right about that.
All they've done is tell us how Texas should beat us, why they're going to beat us, what's going to happen after they beat us in the rankings. I would be like, dude, have y'all not watched the entire season? Did y'all not see what we did every week from Notre Dame on? And you're going to hold the Arkansas and South Carolina game against us, right? Go back and watch those games. Take out the first half of the South Carolina game and watch 6 quarters of that game, and tell me that we're not better than Texas. We're a better football team. We're more explosive. Take out the first half of the South Carolina game. Give me the second half of that and the whole Arkansas game. Give me, just watch those 6 quarters and tell me we're not a better football team than Texas.
We are a better football team. I'll tell you that. And if I'm Coach Elko, I'm so thankful that the media is doing all this stuff. Because there is no more amount of locker room material that you could give a team than what is being given to us. We're 11-0, dude, and we have absolute studs on this team, and we're not getting any respect. I love it. He's got to love it. Our guys have got to just say, feed me this stuff. And then also one thing, feed them what they did after the game when our guys were in the locker room and they're out there stomping on the A&M logo like a bunch of punks, dude.
Listen, first of all, I'm not going to say a bunch of punks. I'm going to tell you why. Because I'd love nothing more than when I was in college, when you were on this team, you weren't here yet, A&M went and stomped Texas in Austin, 34-10.
Yep.
Brandon Mitchell, Keith Mitchell, blindside James Brown ran it back. Or maybe it was that was 94, maybe it was 92. But one of those years, if not both, A&M, they didn't just go stand on the logo and pose. They danced on the logo. So
it's all right when you do it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm fine with that. But if I'm a player, I'm getting them back. Like I will not forget what you did. I'm not fine with it. If, like you said, they were in the locker room. That's how fights get started post game. But I'm saying you have the chance to go take it and give it back to them. So I don't think it's punk behavior in football. I think it is payback fighting behavior, though.
Absolutely.
You know what they say, man. If you don't want them dancing on your freaking field, win the game.
That's right.
And if you want to dance on their field, win the game. Yeah. Here's my thing that I was going to say, David. I know you're going to a break. This offense, this is where it is. Texas is. They can beat A&M. We all know that. If we didn't think so, they're good enough to beat A&M because South Carolina almost was. And Arkansas almost was, even though, again, you controlled that.
Jeopardy.
But they almost did. But factually, Auburn got the ball 3 times, to score. Texas is, but the thing that I think about Texas is I think they're on the level of a lot of these teams A&M's beaten. And I don't think people realize that. I think they're a more talented version of some of them, but they've lost 3 games. I mean, I don't know how much more talented
they're not living up to their
LSU.
talent level.
So they've lost 3. And here's the other thing. This offense that because they lit up, they're a week removed from scoring 1 touchdown against Georgia. And I know it's Georgia, but I would ask you how many SEC teams.
And wasn't that a short field touchdown?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How many SEC teams have scored less than a touchdown against Georgia this year?
I'll let Justin look that up because I'm a terrible looker.
During the commercial break, let's hear their defensive outputs in SEC games. My second part of that, Seth and Steve, and I've said this all week, in 8 games, 7 SEC games and Ohio State, you know how many games of the 8 they've scored more than 1 offensive touchdown? Guess.
4.
Yeah. half of their games against Power 4 teams, they've managed one offensive touchdown. Ohio State, Georgia, Kentucky, which, by the way, was a 5-yard field after a punt return, and Oklahoma, which they had a punt return for a touchdown, 3 field goals, and a touchdown. So I know they're capable, and you're going into a place that's not typically the most, in my opinion, intimidating place to play. It will be as loud as anywhere on Friday.
But our guys have seen worse this year.
If they haven't seen worse, they've seen as much.
Oh, LSU,
okay, fine.
Notre Dame, I'm just telling you. I always heard Notre Dame wasn't loud.
Notre Dame was awesome. That was a great
loud
environment
in there. I think, and their fans even said it's normally not like this. I don't know.
It looked loud on TV.
I don't know why they're showing their band, because that is not it's not what's going to be loud and intimidating.
All right, Justin, tell us the stats.
All right, so if you're looking starting in the SEC, obviously they had the game at Tennessee. It was 5 touchdowns by Tennessee, 41 points put up. Alabama put up 24. Kentucky only had 2 touchdowns, but it's Kentucky. Auburn had 10. Ole Miss put up 35. Florida put up 20. Mississippi State put up 21, and then Texas with the 10 points.
Yeah.
And Texas started at Georgia's 36-yard line on that drive.
Okay. So, to my point, that, and by the way, Auburn should have had 17. They got the fumble called back. It would have been 17-0 in that game. To my point, this is not traditional Kirby Smart Georgia defense. It's not last year's Kirby Smart Georgia defense.
Right.
My point is, if A&M plays high-level defense in this one, you can shut this offense or slow it down, shut it down, whatever. It's not easy, though. Texas seems to be all or nothing, and I don't know what. I think it has to do with the opposing defensive front. But it just seems like sometimes the matchups are real favorable. A&M better tackle on the perimeter.
Yes.
And they better watch that fake over the top.
Of course.
The deep ball for Texas is what makes it happen.
The deep ball, I truly believe Texas' game plan is going to be really to try to establish the run early.
Do you?
I really think that. I really think that they're going to come in and try to bully us up front in the beginning to establish that run.
See, I think they're going to rely on screens and use Ryan Wingo.
But that's what they've been doing. I'm just in my mind. I'm like, that's
Change
what they've
it
been
up.
doing.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
They're going to be pumping the lineup all week. That we got to knock these guys off the ball and establish the run early. That's what I'm thinking.
They're going to give that a shot.
And that guy did beat up our defense last year. Trey Wisner did. Yeah. It's a different defense, though, a different year.
Well, it's a different defense, but more specifically, it's a different offensive line he's running behind.
Yep.
You had.
I think they're going to challenge him.
You had Steve's boy, the astronaut.
Yeah.
You had Hayden Connor, who was like a 3-year starter, grown man in the NFL right now. You had Jake Majors at center, who's at least a 3-year starter. He's in the NFL right now.
Mm-hmm.
You had DJ Campbell at right guard, who's still there.
Kelvin Banks.
You had Kelvin Banks for a little bit, then he got hurt. But Kelvin Banks throughout the year was their top 10 pick at left tackle. Then you had their right tackle, is a 360-pound dude that's in the NFL. So
it's a lot of NFL.
It is different.
All right. It's a lot. We got to hit a break. We'll hit a break. We'll come back with the sleeper and the freak of the week next on the Final Countdown, brought to you by La Casa Tequila. We are back here on the final countdown, brought to you by La Casa Tequila. It's now time for the Freak of the Week.
It's the Freak of the Week. That was our best. That's rivalry week.
That's a hard
harmony
word to say
right
after
there.
certain words. Rivalry.
Rivalry.
All right. Who went first last week? I think you went first last week.
I went first last week.
Oh, did you?
Seth should go first.
Oh, man. Thank you for the honor, Steve. Man, it's going to be easy. I'm going Marcel Reed, man. This is going to be this is going to take him to what is his Heisman moment in the SEC championship game, but he's going to dominate like a Heisman Trophy winner should in this game.
Yeah.
I think he's going to do a fine job passing the ball, going deep a few times, using his legs, juking out Anthony Hill a few times, and having a great game. So he's my Freak of the Week.
I like that.
I think the most disingenuous thing I've seen this week, or either that or just flat out stupid, are the Texas accounts all over Twitter and the push to, and some of the people that cover the Longhorns, to compare Arch's stats with these. It's not that his stats don't compare. It's the Heisman favorites in quotes, and to kind of try to say, like, people are sleeping on Arch. They haven't had. He's 8-3.
Yes.
They were preseason number one. I understand it's not all his fault. He has maybe the worst O-line of that bunch, or has throughout the year.
That was the Heisman.
You're 8-3, and your offense has scored one touchdown in half of your Power 5 games. Not yet, man. You guys shelve that stuff. Root for your team to win. Stop with this garbage of. I saw someone compare his stats this year to Joe Burrow's from his first year as a starter. Just cut that out. That doesn't mean he can't have a great game against A&M. I'm not even saying that. I don't suspect it, but I'm not saying it. He's more than capable of it.
Yep.
I think worse quarterbacks have had. Well, I don't know about that, but I mean, C.J. Carr has had a nice year, but he had a great game against A&M. Like, I'm not saying it can't happen, but like this comparison, the stats look really similar until you look at win-loss, until you look at, and you know what their response is? Well, Marcel has better talent around him. Well, you sure weren't saying that all summer. Every time you race to Twitter to contradict or, go after anyone that said the opposite, whether it was an Aggie or anyone that covers college football. But you're now, well, he's got better competition.
Yeah.
Or better talent surrounding him. So that whole routine, and the other thing is, like, Arch had his chance at a moment in Athens. Gunnar Stockton was better. Arch had his chance at a moment against Florida in the Swamp. DJ Lagway, I don't know if Lagway was better, but their team was much better. Like, he had his chance at a moment in the Horseshoe to start the season. Julian Sayin was better. So you hope that trend continues, and Marcel Reed on Friday is better. But if you look throughout the season, tell me Arch's moments, guy. Like, if you're going to tweet that and talk about it, like, get out of the numbers. Matt Galatson.
Yeah.
Like, get out of the numbers and just be honest about it.
That guy writes for an A&M site, too.
Yeah, just be honest about it. Like,
Nobody's
South
being
Bend.
honest this week, dude.
Yeah,
None of them
South
are being
Bend,
honest.
South Carolina, the comeback. Baton Rouge, Death Valley at night. Like, every time this guy's been called. So I agree with you. Freak of the week. My other freak of the week, since I get to pick two now,
oh my God,
is
Are you going to get the big one?
I will eventually. I'm going to go with
I got all day.
I'm going to go with Mario Craver. Casey Concepcion might be my favorite player in maroon white. Maybe in several years. He's so good.
Yeah.
Craver had that Notre Dame game, and he's been really good since, but he's been banged up the last couple weeks. And I think this is one of those games where he's going to get the ball in space, whether it be like you're watching right now, a quick game, or whether it's on those crossers, or whether it's over the top like he did to start that Florida game. I'm predicting a big game for number one in this one.
God, I hope
Steve?
so. My freak of the week is going to be Reuben Owens.
Yeah.
I think we're going to run the football this week. I think that was the problem we had last year, is that we weren't able to establish the run and get it going. I'm predicting we're going to run the ball for 200 yards. Ruben's going to go over 100. I don't know where the other 100 will come from. Somewhere between Marcel and Marrow and Moss if he's there. But otherwise, give me Ruben Owens. Dominant day Friday.
Well, I'm going to go for the lowest hanging fruit because I believe it. Cassius Howell.
Mm-hmm.
That offensive line against Cassius,
Yeah.
I think Cassius is going to eat. He's going to get a couple of sacks and add to his total.
Needs to. If we stop the run, put him in 3rd and long.
They got to
give
take
him a
Arch
chance.
down too.
Yeah.
He
is very elusive.
Very elusive.
He's
like
strong.
he's tough to bring down, and he quickly gets his eyes. He keeps his eyes downfield. I mean, look, I said all that about Archie. He's very impressive when he's good.
Mm-hmm.
His good looks like what the finished product is going to look like. So yeah, I think you should be excited about him if you're a Texas fan. You got to not let him look good.
Yeah,
I equate it to like Garrett Nussmeier last year. This year's Garrett Nussmeier sucked. Last year's Garrett Nussmeier had some monster games throwing the football.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And everyone was raving about him being a number 1 overall pick, and he's a coach's son, and yada, yada, yada. Well, when teams like A&M and Alabama got after him, it was night and day different. And I think that has more to do with like youth than anything and inexperience. So you've got to make Arch look like the guy that's still young and learning, and you got to take him down. They've got to put a physical. He's a tough dude. They got to put a physical beating on him. I'm not saying hurt him. They got to put a physical beating on him though for 4 quarters.
Time for the sleeper of the week, presented by the Sleep Station. Go see Jared McLeod and ask about the Tempur-Pedic or the Purple Mattress in the Specs parking lot at Texas and Harvey, in front of Lowe's at William D. Fitch and Highway 6. The website, thesleepstation.com. Steve McKinney, please give me your sleeper of the week.
My sleeper of the week is going to be Berkshire.
Wow.
I think that's
Steve's bringing some. No,
it's a sleeper.
Why is he always picking on you, Steve?
It's a sleeper.
Awful.
He's a sleeper.
You always turn to Seth first.
I went to him first.
No.
So, to me, this feels like a Notre Dame type of game, where, somebody that's maybe we're not expecting is going to make the big play. I feel like this is the type of game where he kind of shows up in and makes that big either touchdown catch or first down to catch to seal a game, something like that,
Yeah. What an absolute steal.
I know. He really has. And he's a good
absolute
blocker.
steal in the portal. I say
solid.
One of the most talked about, underrated portal additions in college football this year. Just off the Notre Dame catch alone.
Yeah, I know.
But he was such a big part of the comeback against South Carolina.
Been blocking well.
He scored
That's great.
touchdowns in SEC games. What did he score against? What? Missouri, Mississippi. Was it Mississippi State or Florida? It was Florida where he punched it in the running game.
Yeah,
he's been in blocking, like you say. He's been terrific.
LSU, he did it against LSU.
LSU, yeah.
Touchdown.
Seth?
So,
yeah, well, I'm going with someone that I'm going to get ridiculed. He's not a sleeper anymore, but I picked him sleeper early in the year, and I said I'd never do it again, but I'm doing it because he deserves to be bragged on, and that's ABR.
Okay.
I think he's going to get a couple over the top and have another great game.
Yeah, he's
really come on.
He has.
Yeah,
last few
I get what
games.
you're saying about him not being a sleeper and picking him as a sleeper. I mean, I don't really understand it, but I
It totally
appreciate,
makes sense to me.
I appreciate the fact that he got mentioned in this segment because
I wanted to brag on him. He
Well, I
deserves
thought
it.
you were going to. I actually, here's the deal: the way you set that up, it could have been someone else too, and I thought you were going to say Damian Samford, kind of similar. Similar storyline. They would have been a complete sleeper weeks ago, unless you were listening to anything I said during the offseason, which people, they only like to do that when they can say, you were wrong and we're mad.
when they try to keep receipts.
We lost games and you were wrong and damn it, you misled us. But God forbid you remember anything I said this offseason, how late everybody else was to the party. Well, we won't do that. We'll just do this deal. But my sleeper of the week, I'm torn. Can I pick two? Jamarian Morrow.
Okay.
I think an LSU type of impact.
Would love that.
I think it's going to be running back by committee, though, because I think EJ keeps you showing, put him out there, too. But Morrow, I just feel like he's going to make a couple big plays. And then my other one on defense, he's been playing really well, is Tyler Onyedem.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that looks like when you're talking about an interior D lineman, but I just think, again, Texas, They think they solved some things at guard center. And I think those guys, Regis, Onyedem, and Hicks, but I'll go with Onyedem because he seems to really be flashing the last few weeks with some pretty eye-catching plays for a guy that's playing in a box like that.
Yeah. Yeah, he's definitely done a nice job penetrating, creating havoc in the backfield.
I'm going to take a page out of your book. A guy that could be the freak of the week, but he's going to be the sleeper of the week because we're not thinking about him. We don't talk about him first sometimes. Dalton Brooks. Okay? He is a freak of the week. Here he's already constructing his attack. I see
He had an interception, South Carolina.
But look at it. We're deep into the show. We haven't mentioned it yet.
A sack. He had 100 yards of worth of plays after.
Yeah, but we don't mention him.
I mention him every.
Today you did.
All
Today he's a sleeper.
Yeah, that's right.
Today he's a sleeper. All right? He's my sleeper, damn it.
I like that pick.
Thank you very much,
I do
Steve.
too.
I like that.
I like it. I don't know as what, but yeah. Hey, and you know what? This is a kid from Shiner, Texas. I'm not saying he grew up on Texas and A&M because for 12 years of his childhood they weren't, but I'm sure like that
None of these kids did.
that is an Aggie Longhorn town, right? Like I think he's one of these guys that this is should be a big one for.
And you know what? I'm going to throw in a second one.
Oh. Now it's getting personal.
Right? Now he's taking a pay. He did you, now he's getting me.
Armaje Reed Adams.
Oh,
there we go.
Okay? We don't pick offensive linemen very often, but I'm just going to go back to SEC Media Days. And remember, he's on the podium, and the Texas media guys asking him questions about all the superstars at Texas, and he gives them the look like, why are you asking me this? I think Armaje is going to have his best game.
I hope he does, man. We need him too.
I don't think he liked it. We're going to hit a break here. When we come back, we will do our Pick Six, brought to you by Prize Picks.
Welcome back to the Final Countdown, brought to you by La Casa Tequila here on TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Let's go to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center play, the Pick 6 game, brought to you by PrizePicks. Go to prizepicks.com/TexAgs. Use the code TexAgs to get $50 once you play in $5 lineups. All right, Justin Paez making his debut on the Final Countdown.
Yes, sir.
Let's do it.
All right, well, we'll start with the first game. It's SEC on SEC, the Egg Bowl, which is the number 6 Ole Miss Rebels, which is still currently coached by Lane Kiffin. We'll see. They go to Starkville to play Mississippi State, 11 a.m. kickoff. Ole Miss is favored by 6.5.
Oh, man. I feel like I got to go with Ole Miss on this. I mean, I don't know. I got to go Ole Miss.
Dude, this whole saga with Lane Kiffin is one of the most ridiculous things I can remember when it comes to coaches. The fact that Ole Miss put out a statement that they're going to announce where he's going on Friday or
only Kiffin, man.
Can you believe this, Luke?
Yeah.
That this is the world we live in now.
Yes, it literally feels like he's holding that program hostage. If I was Ole Miss, I'd say
get out.
You're out.
Just like Florida State did Jimbo.
Just leave. Yeah. We don't want you coaching the game. And I would tell those kids, I would ambush in the room while he's with the team and say, "Hey guys, this guy's leaving you. He has quit on this team this season, every single one of you. So remember that when he tries to come and recruit you to LSU, what he did to your dream season. We believe you guys are good enough to win a national championship." That doesn't seem to matter to him. So rather than have him leave after this game and before the playoffs, we're going to let Coach Golden coach you guys, and we're going to make the best hire for y'all, and we're going to spend every penny that we can ever conjure up to kick this man's ass up and down from the border of Mississippi to Louisiana and back while you're here. So please stay, and let's go win a national championship without this bozo. Get your ass to stepping.
Yeah.
That's what I would do. But
Ole Miss needs to see this.
But they won't do it. They're going to let him coach that game. It'd be funny if Lane's actually staying after all that. Like, you should kick his ass. And they know, but they've just kind of mishandled it. But I don't like the way he's handling it anyway.
Either way.
I will say this. There's no good way to handle it. But I think Lane Kiffin, of course, is going to find the bad way to handle it.
If you're staying, this is a ridiculous way to handle
that's
it.
correct.
If you're leaving, I mean, I don't know.
If you're leaving, it's tough. If you're leaving, it's tough. And I think Nick Saban was right. Like, these dudes have not had a coach, Florida and LSU, for over a month. It's just like, what are they supposed to worry about Ole Miss's feelings?
Right.
And not, we don't want to ruin their successful season. Like, it just something's got to be done to make this a little different. But I don't see how when Nick Saban, your agent, your BFF, is in the middle of all this.
He did it.
How are you going to sit there and say that the system's doesn't work and it's broken when you're right in the heart?
And he was sitting there at LSU and did it when he left for Miami.
Yeah, so
absolutely,
it's tough. But what was that spread again?
6.5.
I picked Mississippi State in my other one just because of all this distraction stuff. But
they're at home. They're good at home.
They are.
They don't win, but they play
upon
teams
further
tight.
review, I think they've just Kiffin seems to thrive in this chaos. I'll go with Ole Miss. I'm sorry.
Who did Olin pick?
He hasn't picked yet. He'll pick them later.
I just don't want him picking opposite of me. This is slipping past me the last game of the
Make
year.
him sign an NDA.
Wait, don't we do this throughout the playoffs or no?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll keep doing it.
At least the championships. I think.
Yeah.
All right, let me go. Give me Mississippi State. I do feel like this is a lot of distraction. They do play better at home. I can see Ole Miss still winning, but maybe it's a 3-point game.
Okay.
All right, and by the way, as a reminder, this segment is going to keep on going. So if you're listening on The Zone, enjoy Louis Bellina, but we'll keep it going on TexAgs.com and on our YouTube page. All right, Mr. Paez.
Sweet. We're going to move to Ohio State, where they travel to Ann Arbor to play the Michigan Wolverines at 11 a.m. kickoff, and the line is 9.5 for the Buckeyes.
Big number.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll go first. I think Michigan will cover. They've won this game 4 years in a row. They beat them last year with a worse Michigan team against a better Ohio State team than this year's team. I could see Michigan completely upsetting them at home. or else it's going to be a really close game. So I think Michigan covers.
Well, my first blush was Michigan. Maybe Underwood lives up to his all-time quarterback status this week.
What's that spread?
You got Michigan?
I got Michigan.
9.5.
I like the dogs this week.
I like Michigan to cover at home.
I know. It's tough to do.
Again, I just think Ohio State hasn't played anyone in so long. I think the Buckeyes will win, but I think it's a close game.
I agree with that. Next game.
All right, we got the LSU Tigers traveling to Norman, Oklahoma to play the Sooners at Memorial Stadium. Oklahoma is favored by 10.5. Kickoff is at 2:30.
Another big spread.
I think, I think Mateer is going to take it to him. I'm going with Oklahoma on this one.
Who's Mateer taking it to?
Yeah.
Good question.
But
I think that he's going to do it this week.
I do too. I don't think LSU is going to score very many points. So I think their top end in this one is 10.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with OU to cover.
Yeah, I'm going to go with OU to cover as well, even though I think OU's offense is pretty bad right now.
LSU quit this week. That effort against Western Kentucky was
pathetic.
Disgusting. It was gross.
13 to 10. Yeah. All right. Well, that one was easy. We'll move to Vanderbilt traveling to Neyland Stadium to play the Tennessee Volunteers at 2:30 p.m. Tennessee is a 2.5-point favorite.
Oh man, I'm taking give me Tennessee. They're covering that. Ain't no way Tennessee's losing to Vanderbilt at home.
And then just like that, Vandy's 10-2.
I know, man. I don't want to make this pick because I don't like Pavia at all, but I'm going with Vandy on this
At
one.
all. You don't like him at all.
I don't like him at all.
I am too. I'm going Vandy.
You're going Vandy?
Yeah.
Think they'll win?
Do they make the playoff?
I mean, this is for them to go to the playoffs. I think that they're going to come out. I think they're going to do it.
I just don't trust. I don't trust Tennessee's quarterback. I don't trust their defense. I know he leads the SEC in yards, Aggie, right?
Yep.
I was about to say Guantanamo.
Guantanamo.
What is his name?
Huh?
The old guy, was it not Guantanamo? What?
Geronimo?
No, they had a quarterback, Guantanamo,
Garantimo.
a few years ago.
Yeah.
I think Pavia.
Think he's the real deal, huh?
I do, and I don't look. I can't sit here and say I hate his antics. Look what he's done for Vandy. I mean, the Instagram stuff I could do without, but it's like whatever. I'm not. He's that age.
Generation.
He's that age, and like he's famous. He's got a lot of money. We all, that deal's a little bit odd to me, but like we were embracing Johnny doing like.
Oh yeah,
it's different.
It's different. It's the exact same.
Yeah, like
They're like best friends.
I don't hate the guy. I don't, and I love his game, and I love the fact.
I don't hate him. I think he's overrated. I don't think he's that great.
Yeah,
I think he plays with a heart.
I agree with you, but lately he's been lighting it up. Though
he has put up some big numbers here lately.
But he's got Vanderbilt maybe in the playoffs.
Yeah, if he get the Vanderbilt Commodores,
I respect that.
And what would that team be without him?
Oh.
4-8.
They'd be Vanderbilt.
Yeah, yeah. And he's brought players there, and I just think he's made them believe. And Clark Lee has done an amazing job. So I'm going with Vandy and Clark Lee over Heupel and no defense.
Okay,
I agree. And for the record, the Tennessee quarterback Guarantano.
Guarantano.
Yeah,
I don't know. I just made that up.
All right, we'll move to the next game. It's the Iron Bowl. Alabama travels to Jordan-Hare to play the Auburn Tigers at 6:30 p.m. on Saturday. Alabama is a 6.5-point favorite.
I'll jump in. I'm going Bama on this one.
I'm going to go Bama.
Seth has no idea what's going on with that Auburn offense the last couple weeks.
It's gotten better.
They lit Vandy up. They lit them up.
I'm believing that Alabama's going to bounce back after the loss. They need this win to stay in the playoffs. They got a lot. They're playing for a lot. Auburn is not, so I'm taking Alabama.
That makes me feel like you never even paid attention to the Iron Bowl. But I'm taking Alabama too. I don't think, but
that's sad.
That's actually kind of a big spread with Auburn. Auburn's defense got shredded by Pavia and Vandy, but I mean, remember what that defense has been. If that defense shows up,
change your mind. We want Bama to win, dude.
I would like to play Bama.
We match up very well.
I'm gonna go Bama too.
All right, we'll finish off with the Cotton Holdings Lone Star Showdown. Texas A&M travels to Austin to play the Longhorns. 6:30 p.m. on Friday, and A&M is 2.5-point favorites.
I don't think we need to ask. I think I know what everyone's going to say, but we'll ask anyway, guys.
I'll go up front. When we have the ball up front, we're gonna dominate up front, and our wide receivers are gonna outmatch their cornerbacks. And then when they have the ball, our defensive line is gonna overwhelm their offensive line, and we're gonna win 38-27.
38-27. I got it 35-24 with Texas scoring a touchdown in the last 2 minutes.
Oh. So you have 35-17.
Yeah. Trash points.
I'd take it, man. I think, here's what I think. I think A&M wins, Texas covers, Aggies win, but I'm just kidding. That spread's low enough. You know, I always think these games are going to be close, and as all our picks, it's about 50-50. Like, you know, but this year I think more of them have ended up more one-sided. I think A&M wins this one. And I've talked all about the matchup and the why, and I just think at the end of the day, over an 11-game season, you know, A&M's been the better football team. They've been better at the line of scrimmage. They've been better offensively.
And more
They've actually been better defensively, although I will not underestimate that Texas defense when you've got Hill and Simmons leading the way.
They're good.
I think they're very well coordinated as well. So, but statistically, in a lot of ways, the A&M defense has even been better. I just love how A&M's played on the road. I love how Elko's coached them this year. I love every single thing about how they've gotten here in so many different ways. I like them to figure it out Friday against a good Texas team, not a great one. And I think A&M 31-23.
I like that.
You said that about all our picks.
Yeah, because I was thinking they're going to win by 10, and you guys are all in the same ballpark. So
there we go. And we're all projecting them to score over 30, which they will.
They should. I mean, other teams have been doing that to Texas, and I think A&M's been doing that to everyone, and A&M should have a chip on their shoulder. I do think it's going to be because of the fourth quarter. Like, I think A&M, you mentioned earlier, set that running game. A lot of these games, A&M hasn't come easy in the early going. Sometimes it has, but more often than not, it's a cumulative toll that they take.
Yep.
Both in terms of the run game and their pass rush.
Classic
and what they do to a
SEC
quarterback.
Stuff. Wear people down and just squeeze them to death.
SEC championship stuff.
Amen.
All right.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving. And that'll do it for the final countdown, brought to you by La Casa Tequila. Beat the hell out of TU and Gig 'em. We'll see you next time.
Let's go.